Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Roster Reaper Day, the official Roster Reaper Day. That's what we have ahead of us throughout the course of the show. We'll keep you updated. Do we have more? Do we have boots on the ground reporting? Do we have Big J Journo, Ross Johnston, out there doing the important reporting on the roster cuts? Are we going to have more roster cuts throughout the course of the show?
Well, that depends. I was informed this morning that because of the success he received yesterday, he's become enamored with himself, and he would now like a raise for one day of accomplishment. So I will have to judiciously decide whether we're going to give him a raise or if we're going to make him do the work for the same money.
What is it about this show that breeds such a sense of entitlement? Because I know I give off entitlement just generally, but I don't know if that's like a trickle-down effect to the rest of you, because it seems that it spreads like a cancer around here.
Well, it's because we all see our value standing next to you, and eventually our value will usurp yours, so we're just trying to get what we're owed.
At what point? We're 5 years in. At what point is your value going to overtake mine? I'm patiently waiting.
Well, so are we. We're waiting for you to fall. So as soon as you slip. Hopefully nothing happens as you're going through security to Germany.
Well, inevitably, I'll get randomly selected for special screening, as is the case under my ethnicity. I pay for every level of clearance for me to go through TSA without issue. And I swear to God, Lucas, I am randomly selected for special screening every time.
Buck, I say this with love. You are the whitest person I know.
No, I know. Not when they look at my passport, bud.
It's tough being this guy.
They see that middle name and they say, Khalil, what are you trying to hide? Who are you? What are you?
Yes, Andrew pops, and they say, "Oh, we got this Andrew guy.
He's trying to slide one over on us."
Yeah.
What is it? Andrew Rising. What's that Khalil doing in there? Who are you? What are you trying to hide? Where's your box cutter?
He's a sleeper cell.
Got to watch out for the Andrews coming into our country.
You know, ironically enough, the one time that I haven't been pulled aside, and I swear, I swear on something that's important to me. I can't think of anything that's important to me off the top of my head, but I swear on something.
Cats.
The cat? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Frank. I
Yes.
swear on Frank. That the only time that I have not been pulled aside is when I was traveling with Kirby's giant equipment case that looks pretty nefarious. If you didn't know that it was radio broadcast equipment, like there's a lot of wires, there's a lot of knobs, there's a lot of buttons, and just sure enough, put the whole case through security, let me walk right on through. What are you rooting for me to get for me to be there's not a travel ban anywhere in Europe, right? Are we still doing travel bans? I haven't been paying attention to the latest in policy and whatnot.
No, I'd like you to go. I'd just like you to be subjected to a cavity search first, and then maybe not be able to come back. That would be my plan.
Cavity search.
Yes.
the problem is, you're going to Germany. You're not even going to really get to experience Germany.
I'm just going for a concert.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste.
According to whom?
I don't know. You could go to a concert in.
I've been to Germany a bunch of times. Like I've done the castles. I'm not really a beer drinker. I don't really care about the beer.
Yes, make him feel bad about it. You know, it is kind of a waste, Lucas. It kind of feels like he's just going up there to gallivant rather than to be a true tourist and see the sights.
That's absolutely what I'm doing.
And experience the life.
Like,
you
I'm
know what I
already
mean?
pre-mad. We've been talking about getting pre-mad a lot lately. I'm pre-mad about you coming back with no good European experiences or food or
I've been to
any
Europe
of that
a
stuff.
million and one times. I've been to Germany a million and one times. My dad was stationed in Hamburg. Like I've done the German thing. All right, I'm going for a
Yeah,
concert.
there's always more to do. Nobody
put
cares
that-
about you. There's things happening in football.
Is there?
Somebody put that quote out. I've done the German thing. Buck Rising.
Yeah, you referred to me as what, a grammar Nazi yesterday.
Yes,
Unironically,
you are. You are. Or no, what did I end up saying? You're maybe not a grammar Nazi, maybe more of a grammar Mussolini.
Okay.
Like the lesser of two evils.
which, ironically enough, I may hop over to Milan for another quick show. So
where his
perhaps
body was
we can-
drugged through the streets.
We can cross both of those bridges as we go. But I mean, there's nothing really that's happened since yesterday. Like all the 16 roster cuts, or the first wave of 16 roster cuts were announced for the Titans. The only thing that's notable today is Hendon Hooker, and Vols fans freaking out about it.
And Adam Schefter, who reported just minutes ago, confirming what we thought would be the case, that Tyjae Spears, who suffered a high ankle sprain earlier this month, is being placed on injured reserve, so he will be sidelined for at least the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah, so there's no new news to start the show
That's
today.
new news.
No, I mean, Mac was talking about that with us last week, or were you not paying attention like you weren't with Evan Silva?
Yes, Max said that will probably happen. Now we know. That's the definition of
Mac
news.
literally came on last Friday, said, yeah, he's going to go on short-term IR. They're both on the roster talking about the other 2 running backs, and now because Adam Schefter says it's so, it's so.
So the benefit, the long and skinny of this is, one, they will have an extra roster spot to ride someone because he will be on injured reserve for the first 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The second part of this is who makes it at running back because he is on injured reserve. Do you foresee them having 3 with Chestnut? Do you foresee them still going 4 and then cutting someone?
Well, we're going to do roster math when we get to the 12:20 today, right?
Correct.
So perhaps we save that for as we work our way through today's show. I mean, the news that I think is most notable to the audience, Lucas, beyond that, because I think most people expected that was going to be the case for Tyjae, is Hendon Hooker. I mean, your fan base, bud. they are up in arms at Dan Campbell having the audacity to get to a podium here in the last couple of weeks and say that Hendon Hooker would benefit from a change of scenery.
He would, clearly.
Would he? 2 years under Ben Johnson, not the kind of scenery that a normal quarterback may be able to, succeed under?
I mean, I think a change of scenery would be good for a player that can't even crack a backup quarterback job in Detroit. Do you disagree with Dan Campbell?
But where is he going to? Is there another clear and obvious place for him to be?
No.
Backup as opposed to a third-string quarterback? Okay, so I'm not sure.
He just needs a clean slate. Clearly, Hendon Hooker just may not be a good NFL quarterback.
Sure.
That's where we are. But, yeah, I think it makes sense for the guy that hasn't been able to crack a number 2 role in your quarterback room to say he could use a fresh start somewhere else. Just give it a go wherever else you land.
So I suppose I shouldn't ask you if you're surprised by the reaction of your people, because your people are passionate and they are insane and they are they will defend Hendon Hooker to the death because he is, at least in large part, one of their greatest sources of joy in the last 15 years. Is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Ted Wynn of The Athletic.
Yeah, I texted Ted apologizing.
Got a lot of flack on social media.
I did not. That's not. It's a writer for The Athletic. Bleep you.
Robert, what are the odds Ted Wynn of The Athletic has Buck's number saved?
Saved? Oh,
buddy.
Very low. He tweeted.
Text him right now and say, do you know who this is?
I did text Ted today, and I said, at the risk of it exposing you to more Vols, who am I? We should just start doing that with people on my phone. That'd actually be fun.
Do you know who I am? I know who you are.
There's nothing worse. Do you guys save numbers? I stopped saving people's numbers a while ago.
I need to go through my contacts. I still have people saved as like philosophy girl or like things from college.
Philosophy girl?
Yeah, like if she was in my philosophy class or somebody I swapped notes with.
That's like a terrible superhero.
Like, okay.
If I'm a grammar Nazi, who's philosophy girl?
I don't know. I'll text her right now. Something like, or Alicia, heart. I don't need to have any other woman in my contacts with hearts next to her name. I'm going to delete Alicia right now.
Yeah, you should do
maybe
that.
Text her one more time.
So what was Ted's thought that got so much heat from Vols fans? Because I saw it, and Ted is a film analyst, and he's not a hot take guy. He's not an opinion guy.
He quote tweeted the news of the Lions releasing Hooker and said, that Tennessee offense puts skill players in a developmental hole, which is completely accurate.
There is no
It just is. Yeah.
evidence to the contrary of that, except for the fact that Vols fans don't want to hear anything negative about Hendon Hooker or Cedric Tillman or Jalen Hyatt or Jalen Wright. We'll see what happens with Dylan Sampson. He's in Cleveland, right?
He's in Cleveland, which there's some interesting news around Quinshawn Judkins in Cleveland.
May end up going back to college.
Who might go back to college. We got NFL headlines coming up, so we'll see what that could open up for Dylan Sampson. But yeah, there is only evidence. Like, Tennessee fans don't want to hear this, but there is so much more evidence to saying that the offense limits players' potential or hinders their ability to translate to the NFL. Offensive skill position players. Like, let's just keep it there. Darnell Wright is a good player. He can have a good career. Byron Young's had a nice start to his career with the Rams. Like, this doesn't apply to defense. It oftentimes won't apply to offensive line, but quarterback, wide receiver, and running back. We'll just keep it there because the running back position is also greatly affected by this offense and the amount of light boxes it creates to run into. But Dante Thornton, who seems like he's going to play a role for the Raiders this year, had something to say about it. This was on I'm trying to see the exact source of where this came from, but Dante Thornton had a quote saying, quote, that was mostly every team's main talking point, was asking with the offense that we run here at Tennessee if I'm able to run those pro-style routes. I had to be very intentional playing 2 seasons at Tennessee. We don't have the same wide route tree that most pro-style offenses have. Like, it is a taller hill to climb for these players going into the NFL. That is simply a fact.
Sure. But I think the thing, at least based on the reaction that I saw, is whether or not Vols fans want to be discerning or they just want to get defensive. Because that's not just applicable to the Tennessee offense. And I think that's what a lot of people missed in terms of Ted's analysis. Now, Ted made it specifically about Tennessee because there are examples all over the place of the skill guys. And, don't give me Trey Smith or Darnell Wright. Like these are offensive linemen.
Trey Smith is not of the Heupel era anyway.
Either way, like these are guys on the offensive line who are separate. And for example, Cedric Tillman is a starting wide receiver in Cleveland. He's not succeeding in the pros because the Tennessee offense set him up for developmental success in the NFL. It's got nothing to do with it. If anything, they are talented enough to overcome the learning curve that happens for them when they come to the NFL from a system like Tennessee's. But it's not just Tennessee. I think that's where a lot of people are missing the point. There are plenty of collegiate offenses that don't translate to the NFL. Look at Malik Willis at Liberty. Look at Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. There are examples of this all over the place, and I know that this is how it could be the case for any fan base to get defensive this way, and there's just a lot of Vols fans, and they're very passionate and they're very angry sometimes, especially when you come for their beloved Hendon Hooker, and I get it. I absolutely get it.
Well, the overwhelming response, it looked like, the main rebuttal from Vols fans to Ted Wynn's tweet was, okay, well, Hendon Hooker isn't even remotely viewed as a draft prospect until Heupel gets his hands on him, which is also true.
Oh, the statistical production you could not ignore.
Yeah, but like multiple things can be true. Like Josh Heupel puts players in a position to succeed on offense, to rack up numbers, to make money as well at the college level, which matters in recruiting. And Heupel puts those players in the NFL. Like they are given opportunities in the NFL. It's also true that once they get there, their learning curve is so much wider than a player coming from a pro-style offense. All of these things can be true. Like Hendon Hooker, if he stays at Virginia Tech, probably doesn't get drafted. No. Probably doesn't even get an opportunity. But he went to Tennessee. He had a huge 2 seasons.
He almost didn't get the opportunity at Tennessee.
Yeah, and then they tried to start Joe Milton over him at first.
Right? So this is, I just, there's nothing wrong with being defensive about a player that you root for. There's nothing wrong for rooting for Hendon Hooker. He's by all accounts a wonderful human being and somebody who works very hard. And I know he's probably disappointed with the way that his NFL career has started, but there's no disputing that there's plenty of good college players or highly successful or highly productive college players, as is evidenced by just down the road. And we'll talk about him later, I'm sure, today. Just because you are a successful college player does not necessarily mean that you're going to be successful in the pros, nor does it mean that the Tennessee, because I see some comments in the F&M Bank chat saying, well, Tennessee's offensive system is gimmicky. No, it's a college offense. It's not gimmicky in the college game. It's just not applicable to what people run in the NFL. We've been over this a million times with people smarter than us who will explain to you exactly in detail why that system does not translate or does not necessarily translate to success. What, do you got somewhere to be?
Oh, we do.
Where?
A commercial break.
NFL headlines so pressing that you got to wave your fingers to wrap it up. You know how many times I could have done that to you?
Wrap it up, big boy.
NFL headlines are next.
It's time for NFL headlines with Lucas Panzica.
I'm not going to lie. That was pretty impressive lung capacity for
was.
somebody who smokes as often as you do.
What can I say?
And it also reminds me I haven't sent your ass to the shadows in a while. I'm thinking about it.
No, don't do that. It hurts. Every time you do that, it hurts.
What hurts?
My body.
The fall.
My body, yes. Oh, when you fell from heaven, yes. Gonna pick me up. No, it's not fun, dude. It's living between a liminal space of being. Like
It's not supposed to be. It's a punishment. It's supposed to hurt.
For what?
Not fair.
Existing.
You sound like my dad. My dad used to say things like, those who don't listen must feel.
Man,
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that badass?
it's very
What
sage.
John Wayne movie did he take that from?
Dude,
Holy hell.
If you got kids at home that don't listen, just look them in the eyes, grab them by the scuff of that shirt, and say, those who don't listen must feel.
Oh, man, sounds like something like Sam Elliott would say.
Clint Eastwood.
I mean,
Gran Torino while he's uttering racial slurs all over the place.
You ain't never sat up quicker in church than when your daddy whispers in your ear, those who don't listen must feel.
Can't imagine you in a church.
Yeah, well, I was there.
Well, the Bengals wouldn't listen, and I think Trey Hendrickson is just done.
Ugh.
He's just fed up. It's hard to have sympathy for a man making $30 million in 2025, but I don't know the last time we saw a player admit defeat like this and just want it to be over, because Trey Hendrickson's contract standoff with the Bengals is over. And he is getting a $14 million raise this season, which will boost his base salary to $30 million in 2025. He will be an unrestricted free agent after this season. That's not what he wanted. We know he wanted a longer-term deal with higher-end guaranteed money that matched up with the likes of Myles Garrett and some of these top-end pass rushers in the NFL, of which he is, after literally leading the league in sacks in back-to-back years. According to ESPN, Hendrickson was offered 2 years, $79 million, but only $33 million of it in guaranteed money. ESPN reports that he considered that, quote, untenable. So Hendrickson said, fine, I just want this to be over. Just give me some money now for 2025, and I'll figure it out after this year.
I mean, for him, though, isn't this going to end up being a bit of a blessing? Like, get out of there.
Yeah, until the Bengals franchise tag him. Like, this is what Robert brought up this morning.
Oh,
wait till they just franchise tag him.
And then they get him cheaper for that year than they do for this year. It's like, oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. After this, we're done. The Bengals are the toxic ex. They are going to suck him back in. Be like, oh, baby, but we just went to the playoffs. We're so close.
No. It's not going to be
Franchise tag.
sucking him back in. They're going to hold him hostage. This is not what's that Kathy is it Kathy Bates?
Kathy Bates.
You know the movie where the author
James Caan.
James Caan, he gets stuck
Misery.
in Misery. Gets
Great
stuck in
movie.
a cabin.
Great
and
movie.
she's he has a car accident. She's nursing him back to health, except she keeps him hostage at that point in time. Trey Hendrickson is James Caan in this situation. I can't think of a worse franchise in terms of their behavior this way than the Cincinnati Bengals. And this is what they're famous for.
And
right?
they're going to feel like they won. They're going to be like, they're going to.
Because they kind of did.
Right, they did. Like, this will justify the way that they do business to them.
I can't even imagine what must be going through his head right now. Because I'm sure his agent was very quick to say, yeah, careful with that franchise tag. And they could do it again, but that price point the second year would get way, way up there. How old is he?
31? 32?
He's definitely in his 30s. He's 30. He will turn 31 in December.
I mean, the Bengals are a joke. What an absolute joke. Just treat your employees fairly. Don't be the absolute worst when it comes to this. And famously, they are. So I don't know why we should why we should have higher expectations for an organization that's had a quarterback covering up a lot of their warts that they have continued to have over the course of their existence. But I mean, from everything to the Boomer Esiason thing, is that anybody's oh-no today? I don't want to steal anybody's if it is. Maybe,
Nope, rip them.
Did we do it last week?
I did it last week, yes. Or no, I did it last week for Friday Fire, I believe.
Okay. a sadistic Friday Fire, where they're just sending out generic copy and paste emails to all of their Ring of Honor players and offering them discount rates on hotels, not offering to cover their stay at the Courtyard in Cincinnati. Just an unbelievably embarrassing franchise that they cannot find a way to do business decently. It's just common decency. This man has led the league in sacks twice. He is one of your most productive players. By all accounts, a good soldier. Like, it's not like he's like a malcontent. It's not like any of the behavior that he has put forth this offseason has been unprovoked. He has been provoked at every turn. And they're going to come out feeling like they're winners here, which is disgusting because it's just going to fortify their behavior. And I hate that.
Yep. Trey Hendrickson just I just would love to be a fly on the wall at some point just to see what his mentality was at the end of this, because he probably just wanted it to be over. Like, he wants to be out there. It's clear. He's going to be back at practice.
He wants to compete for a championship. Joe Burrow, the window is my career.
Yes, which it is, and I believe that when Joe Burrow says that. And it stinks for Trey Hendrickson that the Bengals are going to act like this, but he's just going to roll with the punches in 2025.
S-Dot with a great comment here. Buck, treat your employees fairly. Also, Buck. Bert, shadows.
Shadows.
No!
I mean, Buck is more of a Bert employee than Bert is a Buck employee.
Not once in my life.
That's true.
If
we still had checks, you would see my John Hancock at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Surely you don't have a signature. You're like one of these people that doesn't write in cursive, so you don't know how to actually sign anything.
What do you mean? Big B, little squibbles. That's Bert. And a line through the last one. I've been signing my mom's name for years.
It's a forgery.
So Adam Schefter reports that Tyjae Spears will be on injured reserve to start the season, which means he will miss the first 4 games. He's not the only running back in the AFC South where that will be the case, because Joe Mixon will not be activated from the non-football injury list today. The deadline at 3 p.m. for rosters to go down to 53. Mixon will miss the first 4 games of the 2025 season. Titans play the Texans in week 4. So they will not see Joe Mixon, and they will probably see a lot of Nick Chubb.
Man, those are critical games for the Texans, too. Have you looked at the first 4 games? They're at the Rams to open, home for the Bucks, at the Jags. So they got 2 divisional games in their first 4. That can put them in a hole very quickly, and I don't know that they're fearing necessarily the Jags or the Titans, but if you had to find a window to get one over a divisional opponent, and I don't know that Joe Mixon is going to upset the apple cart in such a way that it would leave the Texans vulnerable to lesser opponents, because the Jags are a lesser team, the Titans are a lesser team, at least a lesser roster. But any advantage that you can have, this should be the year that the Texans win the AFC South decisively. But I still feel suspect about him. Did you watch any of C.J. Stroud in the preseason?
No.
Very uninspiring, and I don't know, who you're trying to assign, how to assign too much or too little value to preseason performance, but he still looks a little rattled back there, and that's not something that they were hoping would be the case when they adjusted their offensive line situation. But I don't think anybody would agree or would argue that their offensive line is better without Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, I think you could argue that it's a lot worse, especially with the news today coming out that they were looking into trading Cam Robinson, who was the left tackle they signed to replace Laramie Tunsil. Yeah. And it's like, okay, if the guy that you brought in to replace him is not good enough, then who is going to be good enough? They also released Trent Brown today, the former Patriots right tackle. So if you ask me to name Texans offensive linemen, I probably couldn't do it. I don't think I could name you a single player on their offensive line.
What's that guy from South Alabama that plays guard for them that they drafted? They probably overdrafted in the first round a couple of years ago.
My brain is mush. Generally, I would be able to name you at least 3 or 4, maybe all of them, but I can't tell you a single Texans offensive lineman.
Pretty bad.
Oh, there's Lakin Tomlinson is
Duke.
part of the Texans O-line.
He's just big.
But he's a Texans offensive lineman.
Yes.
For just playing
one
that
more
game.
than I could.
It sounds like, according to Schefter, they're trying to trade Cam Robinson because they liked Ariante Ursere. Am I saying
Ariante Ursere, yeah.
The second-round pick out of Minnesota. So a rookie left tackle, potentially, for the Texans this year.
The other note to mention is 4/5 of their offensive line will be new members this year.
Yeah.
Only their right tackle and Titus Howard.
Howard is the South Alabama player.
There you go. We got there eventually.
We still couldn't name
Through the power of internet.
Quarterback movement. We mentioned Hendon Hooker being cut from the Detroit Lions after a tough preseason. He ended up, by the way, in 4 games because they played the Hall of Fame game. going 22 of 40 in the preseason for 187 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Kyle Allen is the backup in Detroit, and we'll talk more about the Hendon Hooker situation as it relates to Tennessee football later in the show. The Browns are trading Kenny Pickett to Vegas for a 5th-round pick. Aiden O'Connell's hurt. Pete Carroll publicly said they want a veteran option to back up Geno Smith. That option is going to be Kenny Pickett. He's on to Vegas. The Browns are down to a quarterback room of Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. They have released Tyler Huntley, and we'll see if they end up keeping 3 after that 3 p.m. Central deadline today.
Oh, we think they will, right?
Yeah, most likely. You're not going to keep Gabriel and Sanders on the practice squad.
No, I mean, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, I don't know that either of them. I mean, Dylan Gabriel looks like the better player. I don't think there's any disputing that right now. What's the first thing that the two of you thought when you saw Kenny Pickett got traded again?
Deontay Johnson was wrong because he predicted, and did you say he got released, Robert?
Yeah.
Robert's talking to someone back there. He got released from the Browns, and he predicted back during the offseason program that Kenny Pickett would be the starter. Literally the one contender for the job that they shipped away.
I've got some lottery numbers for you guys.
Who do you believe less about the Browns quarterback situation, Myles Garrett or Deontay Johnson?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I got to...
Loud wrong, both of them.
Well, one of them probably has more information than the other one, and it's the one get on the way out, because they're probably lying to Myles Garrett. Like, oh, yeah, don't worry. We're going to be...
stay. Here's more money. Please stay.
Yeah, here's all of the money we
Robert,
have.
what's the first thing that you thought when you saw Kenny Pickett got traded again?
Woof. Tiny hands. Little hands. Do you remember that commercial about
Whoppers.
Yes, with the dude with the very tiny hands?
I had a high school buddy who had very small hands. I used to call him Whopper hands.
Hey, it's not always a bad thing.
Not the worst insult, but...
What are you fishing for?
Oh, just the idea that Will Levis waited until the time that he did to shut himself down and could have very well been traded for a draft pick, given the quarterbacks that are being traded for at this point in time. And I'm not saying that they could have gotten a 5th for Will, given that Kenny Pickett went for a 5th yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett, I think, will be in higher demand for a team that needs a backup than Will Levis. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. The surgery, the timing of it all continues to just be strange. And it feels like he's only hurting himself. But he's sidelined. Kenny Pickett is a Raider.
Sure.
The Giants have cut Tommy DeVito. The end of an era. Tommy Cutlets is out.
They don't need the marketing anymore. They've got Jameis. They said, we don't need your marketing. We don't need your goodwill. We've got Jameis eating W's off of Jackson Dart's hand. Did you see that clip making the rounds?
Look what they've done to my boy. They've massacred my boy.
He had a decent preseason, too.
He did. 3 touchdowns in the finale.
But a very crowded quarterback room in New York. Another team that will, I suppose, keep 3.
Yeah, I would expect. Now, there's some conversation to be had about the Titans and their quarterback room. I mean, Trevor Siemian is better than Tim Boyle, Tim Boyle. I keep wanting to say Nick Boyle, and I know that's not right. So there could be some interest there. I don't know what the Titans will end up doing as far as the quarterback. I think it makes sense for them to keep 3-2 at this point in time. There is going to be a couple of different there's going to be a couple of different names that end up out there. I saw Desmond Ridder got released today as well, or at least that was reported today. So DeVito, Simeon, Ridder, these kind of guys, I don't know that any of them are a clear and obvious upgrade to your quarterback room, or that you're looking for a clear and obvious upgrade in the Titans quarterback room. I thought Brandon Allen's been fine. Like, he's been fine. He obviously has limitations, and you pray to God that you don't have to watch him in a regular season game, because then, for what? I mean, you just turn the channel and go on with your day. But I don't know that there's necessarily any clear and obvious reason that at least the Titans would need to flip or move on from Brandon Allen in favor of one of these guys that's going to be out there.
This is an interesting situation in Cleveland. Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins still has not signed his rookie deal and could explore a return to college this season. Pro Football Talk reporting that if Judkins would play in college football this year, the Browns would still hold his contractual rights. If he does not sign with the Browns at all, he would just re-enter the draft in 2026. So Judkins, the Ole Miss running back that transferred to Ohio State that helped them win a national championship this past year, did run into some legal issues in the summer. In July, he was arrested in Florida on charges of domestic assault and battery. He's not facing any charges for it. Prosecutors declined to pursue the case. I don't know if that had anything to do with him not coming to an agreement with the Browns, but Weird situation in Cleveland. The Browns, easy to forget because they drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft. Also drafted 2 running backs in Judkins and Tennessee's Dylan Sampson in what is also a crowded running back room. So I don't know the last time that I've seen this sort of headline for a rookie in the NFL. Hey, he's not signing his rookie deal. He could go back.
Much less twice.
And we've seen it twice this offseason in Shamar Stewart in Cincinnati, who did end up signing his rookie deal, and now Quinshon Judkins. I don't think I've ever seen this before. This headline of a rookie could end up going back to college after being drafted.
Now, here's the thing, though, because you said he wasn't charged with the thing that he was arrested for in Florida. But I'm reading this Pro Football Talk article right now. The NFL is still investigating him for a potential punishment under the personal conduct policy.
Which obviously is their prerogative.
So just because he's clear of legal charges does not mean he's clear of the NFL's personal conduct policy, which could potentially cost him games. So in theory, and this is directly from Pro Football Talk, in theory, he still could try to return to college football for another season. NCAA rules remain under siege as antitrust violations. Last week, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction to 4 West Virginia players who had been denied an eligibility waiver for 2025. For Judkins, the issue isn't whether he has lingering eligibility, it's whether he can use it after declaring for the draft after being drafted. And it goes on to say that if the player never signs an NFL contract, why shouldn't he be able to return to college? Is essentially the legal argument.
To my knowledge, it's never happened.
I can't think of a time where, at least in my memory, that we've talked about it or that we've seen a headline like this, especially as often as we have. It's weird. It's a weird circumstance. Why is it always a Browns player? Why is it always a Browns player?
But it's not. It was a Bengals player, too.
No. I mean, just in terms of the legal issue and all the different things that he's been involved in. Less than ideal. Those are the headlines?
That's it.
All right, very good. There's a lot going on. Oh, no. We have things to give away?
Nope.
Actually?
Nope. I mean, a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace, but I can't enter a winner in, so I'm waiting for it to be updated.
I mean, what good does it do me to yell at this point in time?
You can yell at me, buddy.
I'm not mad at you, but I appreciate that. 615-737-1045. If you want to win a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, just call in and tell us what in sports made you say, oh no. That's 615-737-1045.
$10:41 a.m. That means almost lunchtime, which, if you're like me, is the best part of the day. Hey, it's Lucas. I would never lead you astray when it comes to food selection for your lunch break. So let me tell you about Hattie B's. Visit any one of their 7 locations, the factory at Franklin, Lower Broadway, Melrose Midtown, Nashville West, even the Nashville Airport, and now at Nissan Stadium. When you're cheering on the Titans, you can enjoy the best hot chicken in the world. Open daily at 11 a.m. The factory at Franklin, open at 7 a.m. for breakfast on weekends. If you want to skip the line, download the Hattie B's app. You can get a free dessert simply by doing so. Family-run restaurant. It serves up your favorite Southern food, an authentic Nashville hot chicken. Hand-breaded, cooked to order, add your spice level, hot or not, everything in between. And if you're like me, the sides are very important. Hattie B's knows that too. Try the pimento mac and cheese. Thank me later. It's tailgate season. You can bring the heat to your event. Go to HattieB.com or download the Hattie B's app today.
That's right. What made you say, oh no? 615-737-1045 for the opportunity to win what, Robert?
Yes, the prize bucket has been filled with tickets to go see Nelly September 16th at Ascend Amphitheater.
Ascend's such a cool venue for
It
stuff like
is.
that.
I just like amphitheaters. I like the open air. I like someone not being able to tell me, hey, you can't smoke that in here.
What, you mean the corn dog that you were smoking?
Be that as it may.
Why were you trying to so vigorously track down that picture, Lucas? You were hunting it down.
Oh, because
a year and a half after the fact.
The gentleman who took that photo happens to know my partner on My TV 30 Friday Night Rivals, Bruno Reagan, former Vanderbilt offensive lineman. And Bruno brought up something to me about it, and I had to go track it down to show him.
How does it make you feel to know that you smoking that corn dog is now infamous in the world of Nashville sports?
It's never the things you want. It's never your humor, your wit, your charming good looks. It's always you deep-throating a corn dog at a Creed concert. It's always those things.
In fact, I think the gentleman that took that picture works for Yazoo Brewing because we all met him at Beer Festival at Game Terminal earlier this year, and we're going to be at Yazoo Brewing in Madison this Friday. Robert and I will, at least. So maybe we'll have a reunion. Maybe we recreate that picture out at the brewery.
Do they have corn dogs at Yazoo?
I don't know.
Yazoo's probably the last beer I drank. We need to get to this thing going. 615-737-1045 for the opportunity to win those Nelly tickets and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Lucas, when's the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
What was it, 94?
1996 is the last recorded Super Bowl win for the Dallas Cowboys. Have you seen this trend where wives are playing jokes on their husband by trying to fool them into making fun of their favorite sports teams?
No.
Okay, well, let's go to this video courtesy of TikTok where a wife is asking her husband to purchase a VCR player for one specific reason.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea that VCRs were so expensive. On Amazon, they're like hundreds of dollars.
Jesus. It's a good thing we don't need a VCR then.
I do need one, that's why I'm looking.
What in the hell would you need a VCR for? We literally have the internet. We have, I mean, if you can't find it on the internet, which most stuff you can't, if it's older to where you can't, you can probably find it on DVD. So why the hell would we need a VHS recorder, or VCR, or whatever the hell it is?
I don't think you're going to find these movies that I want on anything but a VCR because they're so old.
What the hell is so old to where you can only get it on VHS and not DVD or find it on the internet? There's nothing that we need to be watching. There's nothing I'm going to be watching.
It's for you, not me.
No, I literally just said there's nothing that I would watch that old. Like, what the hell would I need a VCR to watch? What?
The Cowboys' last Super Bowl.
That is a man dressed in full Cowboys regalia, pulling his Cowboys hat, down over his face because his wife is making fun of him for his team being that inept.
Staged.
You think?
Yeah, reeks of stage.
You think?
Yeah, it's just how in depth he's going. What would I ever watch?
Oh.
There is nothing that I would. He's doing too much.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to have to stall longer.
Per my sources, the Tennessee Titans are waiving tight end Josh Wiley.
Thank you, Ross.
And Tom Pelissero.
No, exclusively reported by Ross Roster Cuts Johnston. We'll keep our roster cut updates going throughout the course of the show.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Shocking to no one.
But Gunnar Helm bypassing the former fifth-round pick. I guess it's my turn.
I suppose.
Avery Johnson's family made me say, oh, no, in sports this week.
Oh.
The Kansas State quarterback whose team lost to Iowa State in Dublin on Saturday.
The amount of people that just hung up because that was their submission too.
Oh, sorry, guys. The story from this game was the father and brother of Kansas State quarterback Avery Johnson, very talented player. You can't miss him. He's got the long, curly, flowing locks. But his father and brother got into a fist fight, literally, in Ireland after the game on
Did we
Saturday.
ever figure out about what? Was there any reporting around this?
So they put out a joint
Quick,
statement.
get Ross on the case.
Yeah, with all his sources. They put out a joint statement. A video came out of them basically like fighting, like wrestling style. They're on the ground. They're having to be pulled apart.
Like in the mud. They are in a puddle.
In like a big puddle. Yeah, it seems like it's outside of the stadium. But the quote from Mark and Anthony Johnson reads, quote, "We sincerely apologize for our actions following yesterday's football game in Ireland. Senseless bickering escalated into an unnecessary fight. We have resolved our differences and take full responsibility for our actions. We have apologized to our immediate and extended family and now extend our apologies to Kansas State University, its alumni, and fans. We regret this incident, have learned from it, and are committed to ensuring it doesn't happen again. Please accept our deepest apologies."
I'm dying to know what that was about. Robert?
Per me, the Tennessee Titans are waiving running back Jordan Mims. That is right. I am the credited source on this report.
I haven't seen it reported anywhere else, so I guess we have to believe him.
I think it was Mello. I think Mello had
He's
that.
going to start making things up.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you don't have to give up your sources ever. So I could say per sources, Buck likes the taste of wet cat food. But, like, what would my source be? It's no one. It's
You know what
fabricated.
kind of cat food my cats eat? I'd probably eat that.
It was Mello.
Okay.
Jordan Mims had a nice preseason.
Sure. If you're playing that late into a preseason game, though,
For sure.
in the third preseason
For
game,
sure.
I'm just assuming you are on the chopping block.
If Lucas knocked half the phone lines out with my oh no, I'm going to knock the other half out.
Okay.
My oh no goes to Rajah Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, for involving himself in a pro wrestling match this weekend after one of the wrestlers, assumably thought that he was in on the joke, crushed a can over his head, which, I don't know, you guys ever been hit with a can. Like, it doesn't hurt. It's like a trash can. Like, it just makes a loud noise. Well, he took offense to this, and he was live on Kick. He stormed the ring, picked the man up, double-legged him, almost like an Alabama slam, like old-school Bob Holly. Dropped the dude right on his head. He was knocked out as soon as he hit the mat, and then proceeds to lay 21 haymakers across this dude's cheek, bridge of his nose,
Did you count?
chin. Yeah, that was just the reported number. I didn't go back and watch. He missed a couple of them, but if someone is already knocked out and unable to protect themselves and you hit them, just cold cock them in the mouth, there's nothing you could do about it. So I feel bad that he got in trouble. He got kicked off Twitch, or kicked off Kick rather. But that's what happens. That's what happens if you play stupid games. Oh, I know pro wrestling's fake, but I don't care. I'm gonna get my get back. Well, you got your get back. Now you're gonna be in jail. Rampage Jackson said 2 weeks ago, he was like, "Oh yeah, I've saved all this money for my first two kids to go to college, and then I saved a lot of money for Rajah when he has to be bailed out." He said that 2 weeks before this incident.
God.
So he saw this coming. They understood what was going to happen, and now Rajah is banned from Kick, and he's supposed to have an MMA fight next week, but I think he will be barred from that as well.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
that was crazy. Crazy.
615-737-1045 is the number. Let's start with Chase in Murfreesboro.
Oh, hey, guys. I was just calling. Had to be Shiloh Sanders throwing that punch, getting ejected from the game, getting cut, and now ending up in the Canadian Football League. That was my oh no.
Thank you for the call, Chase. Yeah, there were Shiloh Sanders. It's just the last name, right, that leads to this amount of coverage, because I've never seen a fringe roster player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers covered at great length the way that Shiloh Sanders was for getting ejected from that game. How about Dalton in Hendersonville?
My oh no is going to be the neon green artificial appendage thrown on the Titans field during the preseason game.
Yes, the sex toy. Appreciate the call.
Buck, what did you do with that? I heard reports that you went down there to retrieve it.
Well, I left it in your mailbox downstairs.
Oh, I knew something was in there, but I didn't recognize the shape, didn't recognize the color.
Didn't fit. It's very large. That thing could be spotted from outer space.
I haven't checked my mailbox downstairs in many months.
I've only been down there once because Kirby threatened me if I didn't go down there and check my mail.
You guys get a lot of coupons. I check both of your mailboxes to see if we get any fan mail. We do not.
No, the only thing that's in my mailbox is anthrax.
Yes, say more of those things before you get on an international flight. Yes, you hear that? Check him. Check him.
Peyton in Hendersonville.
Hey, my no is Buck and his tweeting. As soon as Van Jefferson caught that pass and went 65 yards to the house, Buck, you took your fist, slammed it on the table, and said, "Damn it, I did it again." When you asked for him to be released a couple weeks ago, that tweet was almost as bad as you saying Deion Lewis should be running back one for the Tennessee Titans over Derrick Henry. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the call. I still think he's cut on any other roster, but this one needs wide receivers.
But he's not on any other roster.
No, I know. I think that offense was a cuttable offense. He plays for the Tennessee Titans. He's going to be on the roster.
Please stay on hold if you'd like your opportunity to win
we
these
should
tickets.
probably remind people of that. Anyway,
There ain't but two of them left now. So.
Okay, it's too late now. Marshall.
My biggest no in sports isn't exactly recent, but I'd have to say the 63-38 loss to South Carolina in 2022. That kind of tanked the rest of the season and kind of just ruined my day.
I'm sorry that you're still dealing with that trauma,
awesome.
but
I love that so much.
Context, he called in wanting to win the Nelly tickets, but didn't know how to win them.
the only thing older than that
so
reference
great.
is Nelly.
That's so great. I love calling in about a game that happened 3 years ago.
I mean, he's clearly still carrying the weight of it. I'm sure
What did
Hendon
Chase
Hooker's
say?
release.
What was Chase's submission? He was the first one?
Chase said Shiloh Sanders.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's tough. I'd give it to Marshall under any other name, but
Why don't you like the name Marshall?
they're ECU's one of ECU's rivals.
All right,
Could
well,
never.
now I'm going to force you to give him those tickets.
What, the thundering turd? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
No
go ahead.
way. Chase, wait, listen,
No.
I'm not doing this, Chase. It was all him. It was all him.
Just
That's
give
right.
him to Chase, Robert.
Okay. Yeah, Buck's never going to know. I
That's
mean, you'd
true.
have
I
to,
would know.
You'd have to cut him off of the log, but we got to go to break anyway.
Second hour coming up next.
It is 11:03. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is roster cutdown day in the NFL. Teams have to be down to 53 by 3 p.m. Central Time this afternoon. Titans parted ways with 16 players on Monday, including wide receiver Jaquan Jackson, safety Julius Wood, and offensive lineman Sam Mustipher. More reporting today from Tom Pelissero and Justin Mello, saying the Titans are waiving tight end Josh Wiley and running back Jordan Mims. Adam Schefter reports that running back Tyjae Spears will be placed on injured reserve with his high ankle sprain. That means Spears will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. In other NFL news, Trey Hendrickson has found a resolution with the Cincinnati Bengals. The star pass rusher agreed to a $14 million raise for 2025. That brings up to $30 million this year. Hendrickson will be an unrestricted free agent after the season. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans in Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Do you want me to talk now?
Yeah, I'm trying to get you in the spirit. Break out your litter hosen. Eat some schnitzel.
Spirit of what?
Germany, come on.
What, did the Germans, is yodeling a German thing?
No.
I think it's a Swiss. This says German folk music and a nice picture that's overlooking a German pasture with the Alps in the background.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
You can't see the Alps
This
from
is so
Germany,
nice.
can you?
I don't know.
It's the Swiss Alps or the Italian Alps? I'm pretty sure there's no German Alps.
Okay, just because they're over the city limits doesn't mean they can't see them.
Oh, the English word yodel is derived from the German word jodeln,
God, that's how they got the name.
meaning to utter the syllable yo.
Why are you doing this?
Because you're going to Germany. I feel like you're
I'm going to be there for 3 days to see a Jelly Roll concert. I'm not going to yodel.
You don't think Jelly Roll's going to bring a German country singer on the stage with him to get a little
I'm
yodel?
pretty sure he's opening for Post Malone. I don't know if he gets to bring out people like that.
Most experts agree that yodeling was used in the Central Alps by herders calling their flocks or to communicate between alpine villages.
Ah, the more you know.
Okay. I'm probably going to be in Germany for like 36 hours.
So, yeah, Switzerland, Austria, and southern Germany.
Have you been to Austria? Austria's awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
I don't have any
So
Austrian
is Switzerland. You got to go to Switzerland.
I don't think I've been to Switzerland.
Oh, my goodness.
I've definitely been to Austria.
Isn't that the happiest people in the world?
Oh, my goodness.
The Swiss?
Yeah, I think that's what they say.
The people are wonderful. The views are just stunning. The food, the chocolate,
Oh, the gelatinous fish.
the cheese.
The gelatinous fish.
My favorite.
Are you talking
The
about
watches.
Swedish fish?
No, have you never had any of their a Jurgen Schlurgen or whatever it's called?
What is schnitzel?
Schnitzel is like meat on a stick. It's like a beef and pork mixture, I think.
No, it's like, I thought schnitzel was like fried.
But it is on a stick, right?
I guess it can be. To me, schnitzel is like a fried cutlet.
Oh,
of
okay,
some
you're
sort,
right.
pork,
You're right.
You ever had like milanesa, like a fried pork cutlet or chicken cutlet?
I went to high school and college in Indiana, so anything fried pork is about the size of a car mat.
Yeah, that's what it is. Schnitzel is
on
a
a very small bun.
usually fried, thin slice of meat.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen Hoodwinked?
No.
It was like
good movie.
I don't know if it's a good movie, but
Good
there was
movie.
a song, the Schnitzel song. The favorite treat for little boys and girls to eat. That's the only place I know Schnitzel from.
I've never heard that song in my life.
Well, you've never seen any good movies in your life, so
I have, actually. I just don't retain anything.
movies, women.
All right, so what's one thing?
Back to the street from which you came.
That's so unnecessary.
the only easy target you have.
What, that I can't last in a relationship longer than you two?
I'm sorry. It's an impossible standard to keep up with. True love wins.
Oh, that's what they say. All right. Robert, have you been out of the country?
I've been to Toronto.
Okay, Canada counts.
Other than that, no, I've never been out of the country.
We should do like an international show trip. Like,
Okay.
not like
Yeah, okay.
me.
We are doing one.
This is like what you and your boys talk about at like 3:30 after the bar.
That's literally what happened yesterday. He texted me outside drunk of the Coliseum. Have you been to the Coliseum, Lucas?
Of course.
So there's a restaurant, I guess, like right outside of the Coliseum? That's not fair.
You did it. You said he texted me without even saying his name, knowing that we'd be like, who
No.
texted you?
I said I'm going to a Jelly Roll concert.
Oh, I thought you were finding me there. Okay, thank you.
It should be a fine, though. But you've been to this restaurant outside the Coliseum? Oh.
Another running back has fallen in the Titans roster as running back Jermar Jefferson has been waived by the team, per Justin Mello.
Oh, what'd you break down for?
He's here live. Why isn't he doing these things on the microphone? I'm looking at him.
Told him he had to do them through his phone.
The delivery of that one was
stand
lacking.
in the back and do them even though he's here.
Yeah, why was he so sad in that?
What are you, a big Jermar Jefferson fan, are you?
Per Justin Mello.
Thank you. Look at that. Also had a nice preseason. Again, was playing late in the fourth quarter, but was productive. And there you go. Your running back room for the first 4 weeks at least seems to be Pollard, Chestnut, Mullings.
Xavier Restrepo keeps tweeting cryptic things, by the way.
How so?
Just in terms of, to a religious effect, God never fails with a cross and a heart.
Okay.
And he's posted the same, something similar on his Instagram story. So maybe that could be one thing, it could be another, but the expectation is that he will not be at least on the initial 53. Now, you have to leave yourself open to the possibility of this, because if they really do want him on a practice squad, Lucas, like they could roster him initially, waive him later in the process, let teams fill up their rosters with waiver claim guys. The other thing is, like, which wide receiver room is so down bad that they would add Xavier Restrepo to their 53? You know what I'm saying? Because they would have to, if they were to claim him off of waivers, he would have to get an active roster slot.
Colin Cowherd says the Titans have the worst receiver room in the NFL. Well, he's not going to make the roster.
Probably do. I mean, who's worse right now? The Patriots? Because, Jalen Polk wasn't really doing much before he's done for the year.
But yeah, no, the Patriots have to be up there. I mean, like the Titans, Calvin Ridley for the Patriots is Stephon Diggs coming off an ACL, who's older and coming off a significant injury. Like Stephon Diggs at his peak, better than Calvin Ridley at his peak, but he's in his 30s at this point, coming off that knee injury. So I would call the Patriots receiver room the worst.
Niners are
in
hurt,
the NFL.
Very hurt.
Yeah, they're just banged up.
Stephen Parker on YouTube brings up.
Jennings has dealt with some stuff. Yes, but I would call the Patriots receiver room the worst in the league.
If you are keeping 7, who the hell are you leaving off for Xavier Restrepo? At least on the initial, because like 7, I guess you could go 8, but that's still like who are you leaving off for Xavier Restrepo, even if you go 8 deep?
Yeah, you're not leaving off Bryce Oliver. He's too valuable on special teams.
That would be like, would that be the biggest surprise of potential roster cuts, like a Bryce Oliver being waived?
For the Titans?
Yeah, I would be stunned.
I mean, the biggest surprise, we can't predict the biggest surprise because it's going to be X player that they claim off waivers with number 1 of the waiver order that we aren't expecting.
What I'm saying is, like, if Bryce Oliver was to be waived, would that be the biggest surprise, like waived player on the Titans roster? If that was to happen. I don't believe that would happen.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we could come up with some more surprising scenarios. But, yeah, Bryce Oliver is going to be on this team.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Xavier Restrepo. They'll probably put out more cuts around 1 o'clock today. They had 16 yesterday. Wiley's already out, the 2 running backs that Ross is diligently reporting on, per Justin Mello. And I'm sure there will be some adjustments with the offensive line room as well. Jason Fitz of Yahoo coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. The best hot chicken in the world. We'll have Jason Fitz join us via Zoom here shortly. Fitzy hosting Yahoo Sports Daily. Josh Pate is also doing some over-the-top stuff for Yahoo Sports. He's licensing Josh Pate's college football show to Yahoo's FAST channels, I believe is the correct terminology, which is where you can also find Yahoo Sports Daily and all of their other great programming. It's interesting to have Fitzy on today with the situation happening in Las Vegas with a discontent wide receiver and them reuniting with Amari Cooper. That's not something that made the headlines.
No, yeah, that got left out. Cooper returns to Vegas on a one-year deal. He is 31 years old, and Jacoby Myers has requested a trade from the Raiders.
How are you as an embattled Raiders fan, Fitz? Are we well?
Well, I mean, I quit, as you well know, my friend, I quit drinking, a little over a year ago. I regret that about once a week whenever the Raiders are in the news, about once a week. I just want things to be easy. And this is the biggest part. Look, a wide receiver in the last year of his contract saying he wants to be traded because he can't come to terms with the team. Like, none of this is shocking, right? None of this is, oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's just more drama. This is a team that, had to cut Christian Wilkins earlier this season. And, every single year there's just weird drama coming into the regular season. So it's just... It is what it is. Honest answer here. Jacoby Myers, I think, is going to be forced to play out the year with the Raiders, whether he wants to. Amari Cooper was going to be brought in anyway. They wanted a vet to bring in, so it doesn't make a big difference to their wide receiver room. Jacoby will be a Raider this year, and he will try and play himself into what he thinks is an elite contract next year.
There's some level and certainly a good argument to be made that the Titans have the worst wide receiver core in the NFL, though the Patriots would probably say, hold my beer. There's a couple of other organizations. The Niners are banged up as hell at this point. Where are you on the Raiders skill group? Because I'm fascinated to do, not just because I've never done a game at Allegiant Stadium. That's one of three that I have yet to check off on my list of NFL stadiums, but because that's such a science experiment of a team.
So Jacoby Myers last year had a little over 1,000 yards receiving with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew as his quarterbacks, and he was forced into the number one role when Devontae forced his way out of Vegas. So Jacoby better than he gets credit for being. I don't think he's a great number one, but he's a solid number one. This team, though, really is going to use Brock Bowers as their number one, and Michael Mayer as their second tight end is also going to have a huge part of it. They're going to have some flexibility in their offense because they're not going to be afraid to put 2 and sometimes 3 tight ends on the field while they run the ball with Ashton Genty. So that's a big part of it. The other part is you mentioned the Titans issue. I think sometimes we got to look at the youth that's up and coming. So the Raiders drafted a couple wide receivers that they think over the course of the year are going to become contributors. That's the roll of the dice. And that's why Amari made sense to bring in, because you are rolling the dice with some young guys. The Raiders offense, if the offensive line plays as well as it can play throughout the course of this year, this should be a top 10 offense in the NFL. Chip Kelly, by the way, the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL also this year, making over $6 million. So Chip Kelly is earning that money for a reason. The offense is going to be good. The defense for the Raiders, I think, has the chance to be the worst in the league and by a long shot. So the crazy thing is that the way the Raiders are going to lose most games is 35-31. My question is, can the Titans put 35 points up on anybody that's not a Pee Wee football team?
It's a very good question from Jason Fitz of Yahoo Sports. Yahoo Sports Daily is where you can follow along and you can listen to me and Fitzy. Not this week on Fox because we're both taking vacation, but we'll be starting in earnest next week every Saturday during the fall.
Speaking of rolling the dice, Fitz, it's kind of interesting how the Aaron Rodgers stuff just dominated the NFL offseason for a while and then not a peep. After training camp started, I know he didn't play in any preseason games, but it's just kind of been quiet on the Aaron Rodgers front until, of course, they kick off the season against the Jets. Is there any one situation in the NFL, whether it's a team, whether it's a specific player or a coach, that has as much variance of possibility, as wide-ranging of possibilities as Aaron Rodgers could have with the Steelers experience?
So, no, but here's Buck knows my feelings on this. I'm gonna be a little controversial here. I don't intend to be controversial, but I don't think there's a bunch of wins above replacement for Aaron Rodgers versus Mason Rudolph as the quarterback at this point. That's how washed I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be for the Steelers team. So here's what's going to happen. The Steelers start very easy on their schedule. If you look at the first 7-8 weeks, Oh, it's a cupcake. They're going to tiptoe through the tulips of a schedule that will have get up yelling every single week. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, can they beat the Chiefs? Can the Steelers go to the Super Bowl? This is going to be the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season because they're playing trashy teams. And then they hit the meat. And when they hit the meat, it gets bad. It gets hard, and it gets really bad really fast. So I think, and then what's going to happen is on the back end, everybody's going to say, what happened to the Steelers? Why are they imploding? Well, the reality of it is, if we went in today with a reasonable expectation of who the Steelers are, the Steelers are limited on offense, right? Arthur Smith is an offensive coordinator that has had, let's say, some success, but not necessarily the best all the time. Bringing them, I know. So, and now he's got to figure out Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, last year looked like a shell of himself, who's on the wrong side of 40 and still has an Achilles injury. Let's see how that looks. And all reports out of camp is that he looks just like slow as death, molasses trying to run around back there, right? So if we came into the season more measured, we wouldn't freak out at the beginning of the year because we expect it. And we wouldn't freak out at the end of the year because we expect it. And what we'd see is like a 7 or 8 win team and be like, yeah, that's kind of where they belong. Unfortunately, it's the overreaction on the front end that's going to cause the overreaction on the back end, and people are going to lose their minds on both sides. And that's just the Steelers are closer to being the Real Housewives than they are a challenging football team. It's just good drama.
The AFC North always providing good drama. But when it comes to the AFC South, I look at the youngest quarterback division in the NFL paired with being the youngest head coaching division in the NFL. I want to hear from you because we're constantly talking about the Titans in the context of the AFC South. How interesting is a division comprised of Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, and C.J. Stroud as its quarterbacks to you going into this season?
Okay, so it's the second worst division in football. I think we can say that objectively. But
who's worse?
The NFC South. The NFC South. The Saints might not win a game this year. Like the Saints might not. The Saints could be looking at 1-15, and the real kick at 1-16. The real kick in the no-no places is that when Arch sort of struggles a little bit this year and doesn't really hit his peak until the end of the year, Arch comes back for another season at Texas, which means the Saints end up with the first pick in the draft and they can't even get Arch Manning, who's generationally who they really want. So the Saints are doomed, right? I still think the Panthers suck. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I'm not sure we should believe in Michael Penix Jr. for anything other than the 700 yards passing he had last year. Come on. So 3 of the 4 teams are just garbage in that division. So I think the NFC South a little worse than the AFC South. But the other side of it from the South standpoint is, look, I don't buy the Titans putting the right pieces around Cam Ward out of the gate. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't buy Liam Cohen as a head coach at all. Like, Sean McVay let him out of the building a couple of times. It was like, nope, we're good. Kentucky let him out of the building. He was like, nope, we're good. When enough and then everybody says, well, look at what he did last year with Tampa. Oh, okay. Maybe it's time to admit that Baker is a coach maker. Like, so I don't really give him credit for that. I'm out on Liam Cohen. So you've got another stunted year of Trevor Lawrence. The Texans were so beat up last year, and their offensive line was such an issue. They could take a mini step back. Sneaky, although they're not a good football team, I'm left to wonder if the Colts are really going to win this division. Like, Daniel Jones is the Wish version, like the Wish.com version of Josh Allen and like Jalen Hurts. But if we're being fair, Shane Steichen has worked with Jalen Hurts and knows how to get the most out of a quarterback that, hey, we're going to do some interesting things, right? So now you put him with Tyler Warren in that offense with a good running back. If the offensive line is anything for the Colts, I mean, this is a team that went 9-8 and 8-9 the last 2 years. They with Gardner Minshew and Joe Flacco as their quarterbacks. Like, all they have to do is get better than Gardner Minshew. And don't get it twisted. Daniel Jones is better than Gardner Minshew. They'll win 9 games. Daniel Jones is better than Gardner Minshew.
Oh, can Fitzy hear the music or no? I'm not sure.
I just heard something.
Okay.
Maybe now he can.
All right. That means we have breaking roster news, Fitzy. Bear with us.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's some news out of the Tennessee Titans camp as the team has waived wide receiver Xavier Restrepo.
Also Mason Kinsey.
Oh, hold on.
That's not official yet.
Yeah, that's not official. No one's broke that. What are you doing? Come on.
Kinsey?
Well, this one hurts. The Titans have cut wide receiver Mason Kinsey. After all these years on the practice squad, his time in Tennessee is over. Love you, Mason.
He's going to be
Okay,
back
now
on
it's
the practice
official.
squad.
Now it's official.
Kinsey's going to be right where you left him, on the practice squad.
Schefter did say Restrepo is expected to be a candidate for the practice squad.
Okay, so he would have to clear waivers. Fitzy, we go through this every year. I'm sure
Is
there's...
anybody? Nobody's claiming Restrepo. Nobody is running to the streets right now saying, "Holy, you know what? Restrepo's out on the street." No offense, very offensive.
No,
offense.
expand on that because you are, you obviously worked in Nashville and lived in Nashville for a considerable amount of time. You've been gone for a considerable amount of time, too. So for us to say it is one thing. For you to say it is another. Why do you feel the way that you feel about Xavier Restrepo? Because there is a contingent of this fan base that just can't wrap their heads around the idea that it's not a Disney Channel movie in the NFL and that just because you're a good story doesn't make you a good football player.
I mean, I watched all of his college tape. I prepped for him in our NFL draft coverage for Yahoo, and I talked to former wide receivers, coaches, and scouts around the league in part of that draft prep process. And I think we all know that, there's an issue with speed. There's an issue with separation. There's an issue with the ability to just try and find the right spots. Like, Restrepo is somebody that has a great relationship with Cam Ward, which is really important, and I understand why that matters. And, he's somebody that those two have a bond that really worked at the college level. But if you also go back and look at some of those plays that Cam Ward found Restrepo in when he was at Miami, those were also some of the balls that were late, not coming out on time. It's just, I don't think it brings out the best in Cam, and I don't think he's a wide receiver that is going to stick on an NFL roster. He's a practice squad guy. He's a guy that most teams were not certainly clamoring to draft going into the process. Just not enough speed and separation, even if his middle range zone route running is pretty good. So that's just not enough to make an NFL roster. I would be truly stunned if anyone makes a claim on him. And by the way, if no one does make a claim on him and he ends up in the practice squad, that's a really good opportunity for everybody to realize, hey, there is more to this. That fan bases fall in love with guys every year. And I understand that. I do the same as a Raiders fan. You fall in love with that, and then you're screaming, how could they cut that guy? And the answer is man, if you're really sitting here trying to figure out why Restrepo isn't your wide receiver, there's a bigger question about your wide receiver room. That's just, if we're just being honest, if you're the Bengals, are you taking him? If you're a team that actually has a great wide receiver room, is he making the cut? The answer to that is no. So you're a team with a really bad wide receiver room, and you're trying to put somebody in that you really root for as a player to make that wide receiver room? What are we doing?
Jason Fitz hanging out with us. So if Restrepo is a candidate to be on the practice squad, let's say he is there room for Mason Kinsey on the practice squad if Xavier Restrepo is on there?
Yeah.
Jason Fitz, were you still in Nashville? Is that how long Mason Kinsey has been just kicking it on the Titans practice squad? Were you in Nashville when Kinsey first came into the league out of Barry College and joined the Titans?
I think it was right after. And look, I love guys that can make practice squad money. I love a guy that can go out there and do their thing in the practice squad and still stick around NFL teams. I would say this. The Titans need to spend more time focusing on the waiver wire than they do on who makes their practice squad. There are wide receivers that will be cut over the next 24 hours that are better than any of the names that we're dropping right now. So, go out and find somebody and continue. This is the hard part for Cam, is that you've got to give Cam the best weapons you can. And by the way, not for nothing, I would always argue if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at bad weapons for a young quarterback, I at least want guys that have been in the league for a minute, that understand the league, that have played in the league, that have some meaningful snaps, that can help with some of the decision making and be in the right places at the right time. There's so much communication that goes into quarterback wide receiver. If I'm going to have a bad wide receiver, at least give me one that is, while maybe not the most dominant, physically talented dude on the field, can do enough mentally to be in the right place at the right time, which does help with the development of a young quarterback.
Yahoo Sports Daily is where you can find Jason Fitz and Caroline Fenton, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. For those of you, yahoosports.tv is where you can follow along. Biggest preseason overreaction not named Xavier Restrepo is?
Anything around Shedeur? I think that's probably the fair and easy answer. The Browns were comfortable going with 4 quarterbacks. Now they trade Kenny Pickett, so they'll go with 3 quarterbacks. But the biggest overreaction is us under talking about Dylan Gabriel and over talking about Shedeur and the amount of stupid takes that we've gotten about Shedeur. I just think that all matters. I also think Caleb Williams falls into the big overreaction. My God, he's learning an entirely new offense from an entirely new coach. An offense that, if you watched quarterback, Goff made it very clear, hey, we got to be on the same page, and all this communication goes into it. learning a new language is not something that necessarily has to come in a matter of 3 months with no live game reps with the quarterback. I just think we could all afford to be a little bit more patient with Caleb in this development process.
To follow up on that, speaking of Shedeur, I know this question is kind of switching gears, but who are you more interested to follow in 2025? Which head coach? Shedeur or Deion Sanders post Shedeur Travis Hunter, or Bill Belichick at North Carolina?
I think North Carolina is going to suck this year. I think they might win 6 or 7 games. Like I think at least Deion, they've got a young quarterback at Colorado that I spent some time around with at Rivals when he was being recruited that I think has a chance to be a really good player. And Deion makes everything exciting. Bill doesn't make anything exciting. There's nothing about Bill. Like, what are we waiting for? The implosion? So I don't know. The next time Bill Belichick wins without Brady, it'll be the first time he wins without Brady, and he doesn't have Brady at North Carolina. So everything just feels so broken at North Carolina with this. So, like, the same person that wouldn't let Brady's personal trainer into Patriot Place half the time is now letting Hulu and a bunch of cameras follow the team around. Like, whatever has happened to Bill Belichick is a weird change, and I don't know that I really, like, I want to put it in a bubble and just remember the greatness that was Belichick and Brady. I don't need this version of it. This is like Fat Axl Rose running around on stage. I don't need it.
Fat Axl Rose.
Well, we know what's different about the Belichick
real quick,
experience.
who did Axl Rose perform for? Who is he the front man of?
Don't spoil it, Fitz. We're testing Buck here.
Yeah, he didn't know who Freddie Mercury was.
Kiss?
What?
A hilarious answer by you.
Kiss?
Kiss.
Axl Rose a kid?
Which one
and you
is
didn't
it?
know who Freddie Mercury is?
Nor does he know Robert Plant. It's a problem, Fitz. This is what we're dealing with every day.
Which one? Which one is he the front man for?
Jonathan Roses.
Oh, I was going to say
really
AC/DC. I have no idea.
I really genuinely thought you were trolling me. I really thought Buck was being Buck right there.
No, Fitzy,
Like,
I genuinely, I don't pay attention to things. I just exist.
And he's laughing. He's laughing at your Fat Axl Rose joke like he gets it, Fitz. Gratuitous.
Well, anytime you call somebody fat makes me
Doesn't
laugh.
even know who the man
Okay,
is.
Axl Rose used to run around for Guns N' Roses in leather pants and no shirt all the time in arenas, and you watched, and he was an 80s rock star. Like, it looked awesome, right? Now Axl Rose comes out on stage in the same leather pants, and the T-shirt, like, is probably a large, but it didn't fit anymore. And, like, so now we got, you know, Fat Axl rolling over the leather, and that's just not a look I want. Like, I don't want this. I don't want old Axl Rose voice, and I don't want Fat Axl Rose on stage. So, like, you know, I think at certain points we just need to put everybody in bubble wrap and remember them for who they were. So Belichick is 80s Guns N' Roses peak. Like, everybody had to watch it. Current Belichick is Fat Axl Rose. I don't want that. Small offense. No offense.
Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports Daily, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, Fitzy.
Go listen to Welcome to the Jungle.
I mean, I've heard Welcome to the Jungle. I just don't know who sings it. Is that AC/DC?
Now you're just
That was a joke.
doing it. We have news. Do we have roster cuts?
Ross.
More Titans news reported to me by Jeremy Fowler. I will give credit since this is sort of a big deal. But the Tennessee Titans have released wide receiver James Prochet. Well, we have the first cut in the Tennessee Titans quarterback room today as the Titans are waiving quarterback Trevor Siemian, and my sources are telling me that he is expected to be on the practice squad.
Who's a source on that one?
I don't know, but they keep coming in. He has another one in.
Oh,
Some
another?
offensive line news for the Tennessee Titans as sources tell me the team has waived offensive tackle Jalen Duncan.
Why is he doing this with crappy audio when he's sitting right there?
It's
He
better this
literally
way.
leaves the studio to go cut him on his phone. It's incredible.
We have state-of-the-art equipment back there.
We are sitting in a multi-million-dollar studio with microphones everywhere, high-quality cameras, microphones, alleged exceptional production ability, and he's running out of the other room to cut these things on his phone.
Unfortunately, I think we're glossing over a major victory here. Do you guys mind if I hit a toe-to-so real quick? Oh, I toe-to-so. I totally toe-to-so. I totally toe-to-so.
Why are you treating Prochet like a war criminal?
I toe-to-so. I toe-to-so.
It's the first surprise. of
Crochet
roster
for sure.
cut day.
Crochet.
For you. Bye-bye.
This victory lap is
What is wrong with you?
cruel.
Fall before me! Yes!
Robert's hatred of James Prochet because he once threw an interception on a poorly called trick play by Greg Roman for the Ravens. All of this because of that.
Oh my God!
I will say this.
We should not be publicly celebrating a man losing his job this way, unless I hate him.
I don't hate him. I genuinely don't like him. So what I would say is the benefit to this is because he was on the vet minimum with, I assume, not much guaranteed money, this could be a vet handshake deal where it's like, okay, we're going to cut you because you're not subjected to waivers. We're going to add some people to injured reserve.
Like the Lions and Dan Skipper, right? People were caught off guard by Dan Skipper, the offensive tackle, the guy who's reporting eligible at every given game, it seems. Was waived yesterday. That's another one of those handshake type of deals.
So he could be coming back if they were doing some kind of roster gymnastics to fit guys in or get guys over, but I can't tell you who that would be. You got a new punt returner, guys.
Jeremy Fowler says the Titans want him back on the practice squad, but he could get picked up elsewhere.
I bet they do.
Chimere Dike is your punt returner week 1, it would appear.
I wouldn't say anything definitively yet. I think this roster is going to be in flux until like the Thursday before.
Who else is returning punts week 1 if James Prochet's not out there?
Why isn't James Prochet out there?
He could be, because
He
if they
very
put him
well
on the
could be.
practice squad, he would
I'm
get
saying
3 elevations.
If James Prochet isn't out there.
Jaquan's gone. Kinsey, probably not. Maybe. I mean, it's DK or Prochet.
Yeah.
It's DK or Prochet. So, but I don't think you can definitively say just because Prochet is cut today doesn't mean that he wouldn't be back up for the roster before they go to Denver.
It's possible.
It is possible. All right. We're going to do our first high school football hero of the season, yes?
Yep, TJ Ward of Nashville Christian.
Coming up next. Nothing worse than being unprepared. Premier Generators is here to make sure that that never happens to you where it relates to power outages. Premier Generators is going to make sure that you have the equipment that you need, and they're going to take care of all the minutia, all the different details that you may not want to stress about to make sure that you can experience seamless transition if your power goes out. It's just enough time, about 15 seconds, for you to realize that the power is out right before it kicks back on with a Generac home standby generator from Premier Generators. And it's quieter than most people expect, about 65 decibels, similar to a lawnmower in the far distance. Premier Generators is here to help you make sure that you are prepared for whatever your needs may be regarding a home standby generator. So visit them online at premiergenerators.com. That's premiergenerators.com for more details. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. We're going to be joined by our first high school football hero of the week. If you're not familiar with this segment, we like to highlight high school football accolades. It's very important to people in Middle Tennessee. In particular, Lucas is obviously doing the games this year for MyTV 30. Nashville Christian running back TJ Ward is going to be our first high school football hero. We'll be joined by him here in just a moment, as soon as Lucas is done burping up rice and lemon chicken soup, it appears.
Wrong.
What did you have?
Nothing.
That's not true. I can see a half-eaten gyro behind you.
Theater of the mind.
Mm-hmm. Your first game with Bruno Reagan and the rest of the MyTV 30 crew was what?
MyTV 30 did a triple header Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh. I only did the Thursday game because we obviously had Titans on Friday. Thursday, we did Green Hills win over Beach. This Friday, we'll be at the Battle of Granny White, Brentwood Academy, visiting Brentwood High School. But TJ Ward plays for Nashville Christian, who also touts quarterback Jared Curtis, the Georgia commit, who we've had on as one of our high school football heroes before. They make a dynamic duo in that backfield. Wore a TCU commit, Curtis going to Georgia, one of the best prospects in the country, and he had a huge night in their Week 1 win over Davidson Academy last week.
11 carries, 194 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 56-28 win, as Lucas mentioned, over Davidson Academy. I am so where it relates to Tennessee and in-state recruiting. Where are we kind of on Josh Heupel and the way that he's been able to maximize that? Because he's certainly doing a better job than Jeremy Pruitt did. But, you know, we're having a TCU commit on. The quarterback is a Georgia commit. I don't know if that's just specific to Nashville Christian or if that's something that's worth reading into there.
I mean, the discussion around Tennessee recruiting hasn't really changed. You know, it's been good under Heupel. It has not been great. It has not been elite. And it kind of ties into that conversation we were having and that we're still going to have about the Tennessee offense and how it shapes kids for the NFL and just how that trickles down to recruiting. Because when you look at the highest ranked programs that consistently pull the best recruiting classes year over year, they are the likes of Alabama, of LSU, of Texas. At this point, Oregon is in that discussion, and they're putting players in the NFL, and these players are having success in the NFL. So it's a conversation that is worth having. And Tennessee fans, I understand, might have some vitriol and instantly rebuff that argument that it could damage the program long term. But I do think Josh Heupel needs one of those guys to hit in the NFL. He does. And his argument right now can be
the lineman.
Well, no, that they're getting an opportunity, right? It's like, well, once you get there, it's up to you what you do with that opportunity. And maybe Cedric Tillman pops this year for the Browns. I don't know, but it will have taken a few years. And that's kind of the point, right? That it seems like offensive skill players need a few years to get their legs under them with that learning curve that comes from going from the Tennessee offense to the NFL offense. So Tennessee fans should be rooting for Jackson Dart this year, by the way, because it's part of a similar scheme from Ole Miss. It is a conversation that is worth having. But right now, Tennessee has the resources, they have the money, and they have the proof of concept offensively to say you can come here, make money, put up big numbers, and you're going to get your opportunity. What you do with that is totally up to you, but it will help to have some proof of concept, which they haven't quite had in the Heupel era. I mean, who's the best Heupel? We've talked about it. Heupel's not had a quarterback have legitimate success in the NFL across his career. I mean,
no, it's Drew Lock.
It's Drew Lock, who's still around, kind of kicking it as a backup. Is Drew Lock back in Seattle? But he was.
No, is he?
He was Sam Bradford's QB coach, and Bradford, number 1 overall pick. And I know injuries derailed him a good bit, and that Oklahoma offense isn't what Tennessee's running now. But you get what I mean. So maybe Dylan Gabriel will be that guy.
Or Robert, you said in my ear, where is Drew Lock?
Yeah, he is in Seattle. And also an update on TJ Ward spoke to his coach. He is in the middle of a standardized test right now. He's efforting breaking him out of that.
We don't have to do that.
No, I told him, I was like, this is important. This is his livelihood. This is his sports future on the line. You get him out of that test. I was like, what in the world could he possibly be studying for? He said it was AP psychology. I was like, well, AP must stand for actually pardon this man so he can go do an interview.
No, I don't want to break TJ Ward out of actually important things.
No, it's done.
To come talk to us.
I've spoken on both your behalf.
Oh, there he is.
Well, we will chat with TJ Ward here in just a second.
Everything I just said was made up, by the way.
TJ, thank you for taking some time. We do appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Robert was just making up stories saying we were breaking you out of a standardized testing situation. Are we interrupting your lunch or are you in class?
I was in class, but everything is fine. I wasn't doing nothing but a project anyways.
Okay, what's the project?
It's about data. I'm in financial algebra right now, so we're working on data with some of my friends.
That sounds like a much higher level course than Lucas or I ever took in high school. TJ Ward of Nashville Christian here with us. 11 carries for 194 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 56-28 win over Davidson Academy.
TJ, I know week 1 can always be a wild card, right? It's a long off season, a long fall camp leading up to it. What was working for you guys to be able to hit the ground running, as you individually as well, against Davidson Academy?
I really say what helped our team out was the chemistry that we all have together, and as hard as we work together for 8 months, just getting ready to go out there, everybody wanted the same thing, so just made it way easy.
17.6 yards per carry on 11 carries.
Is that good?
On Friday. Speaking of chemistry, you've been playing with your quarterback, Jared Curtis, obviously a Georgia commit, a great talent who we've seen on the TV broadcast in the last couple of years. His last ride in high school football with you and your teammates. How do you guys feed off of each other, TJ, as you get ready to go play major college football next year, but with the focus on achieving your goals for 2025? How do you feel like you and Jared kind of feed off each other?
I feel like that we have a good 1-2 punch. We're both on the field together. He's a good leader, and he's been my best friend since I came to Nashville Christian.
So you guys have Ensworth coming up on the schedule. Obviously, they got off to the right start for their high school football season as well. What are you looking forward to the opportunity, and what kind of challenge do they pose on Friday night?
I'm very excited. I see Ensworth as a good team that we're going to be facing, and probably the best team that I'm going to be facing my whole time in high school. So, I'm very excited. My team is very excited. Just ready to go out there and show what we could do.
Well, TJ, I know you're focused on Ensworth this week in the 2025 season, but obviously you're committed to TCU to go play for Sonny Dykes. A lot of eyes are going to be on TCU Monday night, TJ, as they get ready to face North Carolina, obviously debuting Bill Belichick on the sideline. I'm sure you'll be glued to that game. But for you, why TCU? Why did you gravitate towards Fort Worth to play running back?
I have a good connection with the running back coach, Jimmy Smith. He's a wonderful coach, a good person to talk to, and me and him, we have a really good connection. He's from Tennessee as well, so me and him relate a lot and everything, and I like the way TCU is and how it's ran down there.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by, TJ. Thanks for doing it, and hope you continue to have a healthy and successful high school football season.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's TJ Ward of Nashville Christian stopping by on the show. Ensworth, Nashville Christian, Friday night, 7 p.m. Which game are you doing for my TV 30 this
We'll
week?
be at Brentwood High School. They host Brentwood Academy in a crosstown public versus private, but rivalry matchup. Looking forward to it.
Should have gotten the scouting report on TJ from Ben Jones. He's on the Ensworth coaching staff.
That is a big game. 2 really talented teams on Friday.
Well, good to have high school football back. We'll look forward to seeing Lucas on the call on MyTV 30. Of course, you can catch that each and every week. Right? Is it going to be on Fridays for the rest of the way through?
For the most part. We've got 1 or 2 Thursday broadcasts, but yeah, we'll be on air at 7 p.m. Friday night.
Hendon Hooker was released by the Detroit Lions. Will Levis is currently on injured reserve for the Tennessee Titans. There was much debate about whom the Titans should have drafted in 2023. We'll talk about who was the worst draft pick coming up next.
It is 12:01. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is roster cutdown day in the NFL. In about 3 hours, NFL teams have to be down to 53 players. Reports are coming in on Titans roster cuts, including one surprise. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reporting the Titans are releasing wide receiver James Prochet. Fowler says the team wants him back on the practice squad, but he could get picked up elsewhere. Among other Titans cuts being reported today, tight end Josh Wiley, wide receiver Mason Kinsey, and quarterback Trevor Siemian. In NFL news, Trey Hendrickson has found a resolution with the Cincinnati Bengals. The star pass rusher agreed to a $14 million raise for 2025. That brings his base salary to $30 million. Hendrickson will be a UFA, an unrestricted free agent after this season. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What, no German music, no yodeling to start hour number 3? Welcome in. Roster cuts are flying fast and furiously. We will have a full list of the transactions likely for you by the end of today's show. The highlights or lowlights, probably the better way to put it, unless you're Robert Walsh, who's preying on James Prochet's downfall, is that James Prochet is cut, as is Xavier Restrepo, Josh Wiley, Jalen Duncan, a handful of other players, Jordan Mims, who has been waived from the roster at this point in time. Remember, the difference between the waiver claims and players that are outright released is that, for example, Mike Hilton was cut yesterday, correct, Robert?
That is correct.
Mike Hilton is a vested veteran, meaning he's had at least, I believe it's 3 seasons, what are considered accrued seasons, which allows him, one, to hit the NFL pension, which is what they're all striving for, to make sure that they can have some level of longevity beyond their football playing career and opportunity to earn money beyond their football playing career. But also it means that they're not subject as a vested veteran to the waiver claim process, meaning that they are immediately free agents. Guys who have not yet hit that vested veteran status, i.e. rookie players, UDFAs, journeymen who are bouncing around before they've hit that 3 accrued seasons. Those guys are subject to the waiver order, which the Titans currently have the number 1 selection in the waiver order.
More Titans news has been reported to me as the team is waiving tight end Thomas Odukoya, who made the 53-man roster last season, but not this year.
God, that was kind of sad, too.
Sad?
Yeah, too bad, so sad. He made it last year, but he is noticeably worse. Have fun being a free agent, buddy.
Well, he's not worse. He's what he is.
No, I didn't say that. That's what I extrapolated from Ross's temperament.
Odukoya is an international pathway player that's had a pretty decent run. He's been here for at least 3 years in some form or fashion. I think last year was his first year on the active roster after his international pathway eligibility had expired.
Worth noting, if he does end up back on the Titans practice squad, he will not take up a practice squad spot because he is tagged as the IPP international pathway player.
Okay.
So they can have technically 17 players on the practice squad, 1 being an IPP. He would fill that.
All right. So Thomas Odukoya, one of the next players. Again, guys could end up clearing waivers because 31 other teams will have the opportunity to submit a waiver claim and get one of these players on their roster, at least some of the ones. Like Prochet, for example, is a cut. Prochet is a vested veteran. He's been in the league. I believe this is his 6th or 7th year. No, it's his 6th. He was a 2020 draft pick. Was he a draft pick of the Ravens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Same draft class as Devin Duvernay, or am I mixing that up? No, because
Duvernay was afterwards, right?
I'd have to double check that. But Duvernay, overwhelmingly the better player, better returner. I don't even know where he is. He's probably a free agent right now.
Either way. So guys like Prochet are outright released. Those are free agents that you would have to negotiate with. Guys who are subject to waiver claims would stay on their current level of deal, but would be claimed by an NFL team that would be interested in their services. Fitzy, who was on with us earlier, by the way, Ted Wynn of The Athletic is going to be on with us to extrapolate a little bit what he meant with the issues in the Tennessee offense. And offenses like, I don't want to just make it about the Tennessee offense, but offenses like Tennessee.
Oh, is this what I think it is?
God, I hate that this is even sports news.
I knew it. I was wondering if you would do it.
30 seconds ago, everyone's least favorite couple in sports, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, have announced their engagement. The comment says, your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married.
I'm shocked that you came in with the breaking sports news on that.
Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at the scene. Look, are you looking at this picture? It's on their Instagram page. Oh, you know it's real because they've collabed one another, baby.
Oh,
wow.
my, and his Instagram name is still Killa Trav. That's like the email you made, like stinky butts at Hotmail. What's your email, guys? It's
Goofy Goober 1234.
He probably did make that handle a long time ago.
That's for sure Cincinnati, Travis Kelce.
Better than Travie Trav.
You think she's going to make him change it?
The amount of newsbreakers in not just the NFL, but in sports that are out here with this announcement, and also the amount of people that are going to be so mad about newsbreakers coming out with this announcement.
I mean, this is by far and away the biggest news of the day, so I suppose it does warrant the breaking news laser light show.
The craziest part about this is Adam Schefter was pretty quick to this, putting this out at 12:05. Even when he screen capped it on her Instagram, it had almost 500,000 likes. In under 4 minutes, you can't see his screenshot time, but like I would assume it's already hit 1 million likes.
All right, the question, I'm going to go to her Instagram to find out just that because I want to see the size of the rock, to be honest with you. Because Robert, you're now up against it. I want to know what you're currently working with here. Let's see.
It's not that impressive. Looks lab grown.
Yeah, you think it's lab grown or?
Oh yeah, 100% lab grown.
Real time.
Yeah, he got her a lab grown.
Let's see.
I mean, it's sensible to get a lap grown.
Oh my God.
It's a big rock.
That's as big as her watch face. How much do you think that ring costs?
Oh, thank you, Ross, for the update. It hit 1 million, 8 minutes. 8 minutes to get 1 million likes.
That's insane.
Sleeper HQ commented on that from Adam Schefter and said, we have moved on, with a picture of Justin Herbert and Madison Beers. It's like,
who?
Not exactly. Not even close. Not even close. Madison Beers is, I think she sings and does some kind of artsy things, but she's famous for being hot.
Another one of those famous people nobody's heard of.
She's famous for being hot. This is a famous person that everybody has heard of.
There are so many famous people that no one's heard of these days. So many.
God, it has never meant less to be famous.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. The attention economy, though, is something that is very profitable, as Taylor Swift is very familiar with. It's 1 million likes in 8 minutes, and it's still climbing. What did that podcast end up doing?
I don't even want to click on it and give them another like, man. I'm over this. I am over this. I hope the infidelity scandal that comes out about him is covered widespread.
Why would you prey on their downfall?
I'm not preying on her downfall. I am preying on his downfall.
Why don't you like the Kelces?
Why don't I don't have a problem with Jason. I just despise him.
No, didn't you say the other day that you hated Jason too?
Yeah, and his mom too. They're all just
he hates them so
anybody
much.
that just gets shoved down your throat like this. It's like,
so confused.
Okay, two brothers played on two teams that were in the Super Bowl. They didn't do this for John and Jim. You didn't see them prancing around Nancy Harbaugh.
Oh my God, that podcast has 20 million views on YouTube.
Must be nice. God, I'm so over it. I can't wait until he cheats on her.
Oh my goodness.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, they're going to get married.
That's like saying you can't wait till Megan cheats on Lucas.
No, not even close to the same thing. Megan is a fantastic woman.
Of
Lucas
course she is.
Less than desirable. So it's not like I have to worry about any women seeking him out. How many women would love to absolutely dethrone this is the greatest love story of the 2020s? Like, it's not Ben Affleck. Like, who else would it be?
Alone.
Yeah. Who's that guy that was screaming about Britney Spears before we all realized that Britney Spears probably did need to be in whatever situation she was currently in and trying to break free from?
I don't know. I think it's finally happened.
What?
That Mason Kinsey might not be in the Titans practice squad?
That?
Imagine thinking that's bigger news.
I think if
no. But like, they love him.
I understand, but Isn't it?
He's not going to get claimed.
It's not a bit redundant to have both Restrepo and Kinsey on the
There are
practice squad?
redundancies all over NFL practice squads everywhere.
We'll see.
While we're talking about attractive couples, I hope he sticks around just so his girlfriends does at the practice.
Talking about Kinsey?
Yes, we.
You are not going to be allowed to be out at practice.
Oh, they kicked us out early anyway. What are we going to
sitting there being lecherous about the wags in
I didn't
attendance.
say anything about her wags. Just that we call her Dragon.
So
this is all so over my head. I don't know what any of these words are or mean.
Wives and girlfriends of, I don't know what the S stands for.
Is that what that stands
I think it's just like the plural. It's wags. Wives and girlfriends.
Wives and girlfriends.
And we call her Dragon
So
because
who's the wag in this particular situation? Is it Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift?
both, I guess. Travis would be the girlfriend.
Travis Kelce is
And
100% the lesser.
Yeah, Taylor's far more famous and a much bigger deal than Travis Kelce.
Did either of you bother to listen to that podcast?
no, I had to listen to it second-handedly.
I know. It's
I
one of those
didn't-
things that it's going to be everywhere, so you don't have to actually go out and listen to it because anybody who was even remotely mentioned by her ended up trying to aggregate that content to put on their own social media feeds and gain some Taylor Swift clout.
I don't want to be here anymore.
She's going to be at this Chiefs-Titans game, right?
In Nashville, yep, probably.
People are going to show up.
Unless she's doing a concert in like Tokyo or something.
I don't know. I mean, well, she's got the new album is not. I mean, is
October.
it out?
It comes out in October. I think.
And that Chiefs game, I don't think is until December.
So she'll probably be on tour. I don't know.
Just can't imagine. First time Nissan Stadium is going to be filled up for a Titans game since they were good is going to be because Taylor Swift is in attendance.
Adam says Taylor Swift about to lay down the greatest prenup of all time.
Oh, dude. Right? Like you have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the most trustworthy significant other in the world. Like you have to have a prenup when you are that rich.
Yeah. Like Travis Kelce's rich, but
no,
not
even
like that.
remotely.
You definitely got to get a prenup because you know he's going to cheat.
You don't know that.
Anybody from Cincinnati.
Hit the reckless speculation
Big
sound.
I do not support this.
Hit the
Big
reckless
cheater.
speculation sound.
Anybody from the state of Cincinnati.
This is way worse than you ugly shaming Pete Nakos.
The state of Cincinnati.
It's not a state.
Big cheaters.
And that it won't conclude our Taylor Swift Travis Kelce coverage because, again, the Titans host the Chiefs in December. So I'm sure there will be more Taylor Swift Travis Kelce coverage as a result. And I'm sure the ticket prices will reflect that. All right. Ted Wynn of The Athletic, film analyst, is going to join us coming up next. People were up in arms. Vols fans were up in arms at the idea that Tennessee's offense does not actually help players succeed in the NFL. Ted will explain to us why coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, we are officially up to 2.1 million likes on the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce engagement post put up 20 minutes ago.
I've reported it for spam. Hopefully they get to that quickly.
So I'm sure we'll ask Ted Wynn, football film analyst for The Athletic, about exactly that. How will that impact Travis Kelce's ability to operate the Chiefs offense? No, we will talk to him about Hendon Hooker and the Tennessee offense and the kind of pitfalls that it presents for players trying to succeed at the NFL level. Again, it's not just Tennessee's offense that's like this. There are many, many collegiate offenses that are not suited to translate to the NFL. Doesn't mean it's a persecution complex that Vols fans have to take upon themselves, but it seems they did very much that yesterday, at least a contingent of them who were very upset about anybody saying anything negative about the University of Tennessee's football program, or Hendon Hooker, who is one of their greatest sources of joy, like I said earlier, in the last 15 years, if not the biggest source of their joy in the last 15 years beyond Josh Heupel. Now, because Hendon Hooker was released by the Detroit Lions as a former third-round pick, and because of the constant conversation that was had around Will Levis as a second-round pick that the Titans traded up to select, almost traded up to select him in the first round, if you'll remember. So they avoided at least some degree of sin through no skill of their own in 2023. But they did give up a third-round pick to take Will Levis with the first pick in the second round of that 2023 draft. They're both bad draft picks. We can agree?
Yeah. Neither one has worked out. That's for sure.
So, is there a conversation to be had about, for the sake of Vols fans, did the Titans at least get it more right than not, taking Will Levis over Hendon Hooker?
Well, did they get more out of Will Levis than the Lions got out of Hendon Hooker? Yes, indisputably.
By a mile.
But there is another conversation to be had on which one was worse for each respective franchise, because the Lions, in a completely different situation, obviously, were not held back at all by the Hendon Hooker pick. I suppose they could have spent that third-round pick on an extra offensive lineman or, a center to eventually replace Frank Ragnow or whatever, but it hasn't exactly held them back. Meanwhile, the Titans saw enough out of Will Levis to build around him for an entire offseason, which obviously cratered. So you could argue the Will Levis pick was more damaging to the Titans than the Hooker pick was to the Lions. Actually, I don't think you can argue that. It's not arguable. Yeah. The Levis pick was much more damaging to the Titans than the Hooker pick was.
Chasing the third rounder that they gave up for him, cratered them in ways that nobody really could have imagined.
Yeah.
No matter how down you were on Will Levis coming out as a draft prospect, I don't think anybody could have envisioned just how spectacularly awful. I mean, it's the second worst season in the Titans era.
Brandon on the FNM Bank chat says, in a roundabout way, Levis did lead us to the chosen one. If Cam Ward hits, then maybe you got Will Levis to thank.
It's a big if.
The timing of it all.
It's a big if.
But Levis unquestionably did more in the NFL, or has done more to this point in the NFL. Also, that pick was more damaging to the Titans than the Hooker pick was to the Lions, who are plugging along and are just kind of going to shed Hendon Hooker and keep going, trying to win another division title in 2025.
Well, because, these are roundabout arguments, and you try not to get too sucked in on social media in particular, but Vols fans do have a way of engaging no matter what. And the argument was made by at least many Vols fans that I saw responding to Ted and other people who were critical of the Tennessee offense and offenses like it, because there are many offenses like it in college football, and it is a successful offense in college football. It is not something that gives you the tools to succeed as a skill player, or really it seems as a quarterback in the NFL. We can agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that's not up for debate.
Right.
Like Tennessee players,
but Tennessee fans will debate
out of that offense have a taller mountain to climb to get acclimated to NFL offenses. That's just a fact. Like, there is no debating there. What Tennessee fans' biggest pushback was on Ted Wynn, who's about to join us, is, okay, Hooker's not even a prospect if Heupel doesn't get him into that offense, which is also true.
True.
So, both of these things can be true. That's always the infuriating part of these discussions. Yes, is Hendon Hooker drafted in the third round if he doesn't play for Heupel at Tennessee? No. If he just flounders at Virginia Tech like he kind of was, he probably doesn't even get that opportunity. It can also be true that playing at Tennessee doesn't put you in the best position to hit the ground running as an offensive skill position player.
So I think when you talk about, because it doesn't make Cedric Tillman could still have a successful NFL career. He's a starting wide receiver for the Browns, and we know that the Browns quarterback situation is god-awful. I don't think it's an indictment of Cedric Tillman. If you looked at his Pro Football Reference, his stats are not going to blow you away. He's had many starts, but has not been able to produce at a reasonably high level. But you can also say, look at the Browns quarterback situation. My God, who would succeed in a situation like that? Dante Thornton is a draft pick by the Raiders. Was he a fourth-round pick? Third-round pick, fourth-round pick?
Definitely day 2. I want to say fourth.
Well, he wouldn't have been day 2 then. He would have been day 3.
Fourth-round pick. Pick 108. Yeah.
So, because I want to make sure that we have the best version of this conversation, because immediately I see in the chat, it's too gimmicky. Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel would dominate high schools with that offense. No, they can dominate college football too, and it's not a gimmick. It works in college football. The air raid is a proven commodity in college football. It has a tougher learning curve in the NFL. Cliff Kingsbury is the only one that I've seen operate air raid concept. I mean, they have done some stuff with the Chiefs.
First of all, the air raid offense is, I understand what you're saying. It uses the wide splits and the passing attack. It has that look, but it's not the air raid.
Lucas,
the air raid is a totally
calls
different
it
thing.
the most pure version of the air raid.
I understand, but the air raid also essentially uses the quick passing game as its run game, whereas Heupel's offense, the Bryles offense, the run game is arguably the most foundational part.
I'm not arguing that, but if Cosell is telling me that it's the most pure version of the air raid offense, then it's pretty impossible for either of us to argue that it's not an air raid offense.
It's just hard for me to call it an air raid when they've averaged 2,500 rush yards a season.
It's not just about the statistics. It's about the way that the offense is orchestrated, the kind of splits that the wide receivers are asked to take, the kind of things that the quarterback is asked to do. Yeah. That's what he means when he calls it the most pure version
These are
of the
semantics.
air raid.
The point remains the same. And Greg on the F&M Bank chat says the idea that Josh Heupel's job is to produce NFL players is dumb. His job is to win football games. If players make the NFL, that's great.
It's also a part of his job to get players to the NFL.
Well, because getting players to the NFL helps him get more players that can win him football games.
Correct.
Greg is right that his job is to win games. But if you don't think that this has already been used against Tennessee in recruiting, then you're wrong.
Oh my God.
I mean, schools, anytime a quarterback, a receiver, anytime Faison Brandon talks to a coach that doesn't work for Tennessee, you know that's what they're talking about. Just look around. Who has come from this offense and immediately had success in the NFL? And by the way, it's not a requirement for your offensive skill players to get to the NFL and hit the ground running to win big in college football. Kirby's never had a quarterback at Georgia that went on to have success in the NFL. It took until Ladd McConkey's rookie year for a Georgia receiver to really hit that played for Kirby Smart. George Pickens is a talented player, but he's had all sorts of issues.
That's more an attitude thing than it is.
For sure. And crazy talented player. But Kirby, with regularity, is churning these players into the NFL, and more of them hit than not, especially on the defensive side. So it is a factor. It just is. Tennessee fans that don't want to see that at some point are just ignoring the facts. It would behoove Josh Heupel for one of these players or multiple players to hit in a meaningful way in the NFL so that we can no longer say this, so that they have some sort of rebuttal, but about a certain player. And the problem is, if Jalen Hyatt or Cedric Tillman finally take this year, that's great and all. It still took them a few years. And the point kind of remains the same.
No, they're succeeding in spite of
exactly
the Tennessee offense. The Tennessee offense did not give them the tools to succeed at the NFL level if they are to hit, 2 or 3. I mean, how far were they? 20? They were 23 draft picks too. So we're coming into year 3 for them. If they were to hit this year or in years down the road, if they end up staying in Cleveland and New York respectively, or if they end up going somewhere else in their NFL careers, they will have succeeded in spite of coming from an offense that does not give them the tools to succeed in the NFL. So this is the thing that we're going to talk to Ted Wynn of The Athletic about. Ted's job is to literally study college offenses, see what's applicable to the NFL and teams that utilize certain things. And by the way, there are trickle-up economics when it comes to play calling in college football to the NFL. Brian Callahan has talked about this with Cam Ward. This is something that they have worked diligently to find, not just things that they do within their offense, the offense that Brian Callahan comes from, to run, but this is something that they've talked to Miami coaches at great length about to find different things that work for college players. This is something that every NFL coaching staff does, at least any successful NFL coaching staff, to try to get their players acclimated to the NFL as much as humanly possible. Ted Wynn of The Athletic joins us now. Ted, you are much more patient than most people with the level of Vol fan vitriol it seemed like you received yesterday. What was the funniest argument you saw made by a Tennessee fan who took issue with your initial tweet about Hendon Hooker?
Yeah, I did not expect that type of reaction after tweeting that, but I've now learned that there are more rabid fan bases in college than in the NFL, which I deal with more. I don't know what the wildest responses are. I had a lot of people call me names. Somebody tried to call me a clown, but misspelled it crown.
Fantastic.
I think. But the most common argument I saw, and which one that I do buy, is that the offense does help certain players get the attention of the NFL because it's a very productive offense. And I'm not here to argue that the offense isn't productive. I think with the right talent in that offense, you could put up numbers. But the problem is it's just not very translatable when you actually make the league. And just to make it clear, I like the offense. Like, I think it's a smart offense. It's unique, and it clearly works in the college game. But as far as preparing guys for NFL, it just doesn't do that because the skills that you learn in an offense, you have to kind of relearn when you make the league.
At FB_film analysis is where you can follow Ted for his insights on Twitter. You can also read the great work that he does in terms of film study at theathletic.com.
Ted, we mentioned the quote from Dante Thornton talking about his route tree, how that was the number one thing that he got asked about in the draft process, and how he admitted it's been an adjustment for him getting to the NFL. But the premise of this conversation we're having is around the Lions releasing Hooker. So what do you see as the biggest obstacle? Because it's not just Hooker. You can go all the way down quarterbacks that Heupel has worked with, quarterbacks Lane Kiffin has worked with, Art Briles. What is the biggest obstacle for a quarterback coming from that former Baylor system to the NFL in your mind?
Yeah, to me, there's a difference between like a regular spread offense and this spread offense, because like in a regular spread offense, you're still like an air raid system, for example, you're still running pro concepts, like you're running shallow cross concepts, you're running, Hank concepts and things like that. But in this offense is based around the deep choice. It's based around wide splits, isolating a receiver and having that receiver run kind of an option route downfield, and you're waiting for that route to get open. You're not really throwing that with anticipation because you have to see what the receiver is going to do. So I think the number one challenge is going through your reads and learning a sense of timing your footwork with your first read, and then moving on to your second and third read. I think there's just less of that type of precision in this offense, and I think that's the biggest challenge because you're not getting those type of reps in this type of system.
As you get ready for another football season, Ted, and I know obviously you've been watching tape constantly. Do you do a lot of college study during the summer before we actually get into meaningful NFL regular season football?
I do study like offenses that I'm really interested in, but most of my study comes from just getting ready for the draft and studying players that are draft ready. And then in the summer, I'll look at some college offenses that I find really interesting, or some coaches tell me about, like, for example, Steve Sarkisian. People in NFL are really interested in what he's doing from a play calling and play design perspective.
With that in particular, what most intrigues you about the rookie quarterbacks that are coming into the NFL, understanding the various systems that they've come from, and now being able to see the landing spots that they have ended up in via the draft?
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart is an interesting one. He's coming from another system that is very simplistic, and his coaches with the Giants have talked about how it's going to be a transition for him. They knew that they had a plan. They brought in Russell Wilson to start for them. But I mean, when you look at what he's done in the preseason and how. And to be fair, some of the plays that they've ran in preseason are very simple, and they did a good job of simplifying things for him. But what he executed those concepts at a very high level, and I think he surprised a lot of people with how ready he's looked. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see when they, if they do decide to pull the leash on Russell Wilson, they want to keep him on a bench this year and develop him. But the Giants have the hardest schedule in the league. It's easy to see them losing games midseason and getting pressure to start him. So I think that's one of the more interesting storylines with these rookie quarterbacks.
Ted Wynn of The Athletic here with us on 104.5 The Zone.
And if Jackson Dart does come in at some point this season, then how interesting of a case study does that suddenly become for you, Ted, after this discussion that we're having and Dart obviously coming from the Kiffin Ole Miss offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think with that offense and when you watch him last year, it just seemed like everything was a little predetermined. Like if his first or second read wasn't open, and Kiffin's a fantastic play caller that does a good job of getting those couple reads open. Like how does he perform when things are a lot messier in an NFL? The picture always gets messy, and if he could do that at a high level, I think that is going to be a really good sign that he has it, as an NFL quarterback. And I think not everybody had him as a first round draft pick for precisely that reason. They doubt that, he can perform when the picture gets messy, because it didn't happen that often at Ole Miss. So it'll be interesting to watch him.
At FB_film analysis is where you can follow along with Ted's insights all throughout the course of the football season. And for cooking tips, Lucas, you would, if you're not already following Ted, I think you would enjoy some of the food thirst traps that I see him post on a regular basis.
Oh, what are we cooking tonight?
We got a filet mignon in the fridge waiting, so I'm going to cook that up tonight.
All right. Well, enjoy it, Ted. We appreciate your time as always. Thanks for being a good sport. And now you see the we'll call it passion of Vol football fans. God knows that they're loud and they're engaging when they want to be. Thank you for the time, sir.
Thanks for having me on.
Love you, Ted.
Love you too.
Yeah. That's the first one he's got.
I knew he was a good guy.
That's awesome.
The look on his face was so bewildered.
Because you came out of nowhere, redneck. You said, love you, Ted.
I love you, Ted.
I love you, Dad.
His face right before we switch it was.
And that's the last time Ted Wynn will respond to a text from me.
That's great.
Oh, God. I'm so happy he said love you, too.
He sure did.
That's how you know he's a good person.
Well, he probably needs it after what Vols fans were trying to do to him on the internet yesterday. But, once you hear somebody who actually studies this stuff explain it, it shouldn't be that controversial. And I don't think it's that controversial to begin with. But, Lucas, it's not exclusive to Tennessee fans. I don't want to make it up.
More Titans news, this time in the secondary, as the Titans have cut safety Kendall Brooks, who had the pick six in Atlanta. More Titans defensive news, as sources tell me the team is waiving UDFA defensive tackle Cam Horsley out of Boston College.
Oh.
Are any UDFAs going to make this team?
They seem to really... Well, the Crenshaw-Dixon guy.
Oh, yeah, Brandon
he has not been cut yet.
Still wandering around there.
Jalen Duncan was cut.
Yeah, Duncan was cut. Udo, I saw Kaharski reported that Udo hadn't heard anything yet.
I think Paul's just calling these players.
Right. So the tackle situation is an interesting one when you talk about fringe players. Duncan is gone, so does that open the door for Brendan Crenshaw-Dixon?
That is somebody that they were very... Obviously, based on the compensation that they gave him, they prioritized him as a undrafted rookie free agent in the post-draft process. But that's somebody that they've been optimistic about. I don't even think I need to say cautiously optimistic about. They're generally optimistic about Brendan Crenshaw-Dixon. Florida was his
correct. via San Diego State, by way of San Diego State.
Okay, so between him, Jackson Slater, looks like he's going to make the roster. Not necessarily a guarantee for a 6th-round pick, but he's held his own throughout the course of the preseason. I think that's the kind of stuff. Do we have that Ben Jones cut? Well, we can play that Ben Jones cut coming up next, talking about the offensive line depth specifically, because that's an area that Titans fans are going to be hyper-focused on. Last call for phone calls if you got them. 615-737-1045 is the number. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. Trajan Wealth is here to help you with financial independence because so many of us are seeking financial independence, and what a relief that can be when you achieve it. You can ensure, by the way, that your retirement is the ultimate summer vacation by calling Trajan Wealth today. As a veteran, Trajan Wealth CEO Jeff Jr. fully appreciates the importance of true independence. He founded Trajan Wealth as an independent firm, allowing fiduciary advisors the ability to customize a portfolio to meet your unique goals and needs. Call Trajan Wealth today to discuss options for achieving that financial independence. 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000. 2 locations in Brentwood and Franklin, or online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Check out the podcast if you missed it. Who do we have on earlier? Did we have somebody on earlier?
Jason Fitz.
Oh, yeah, we had Fitzy on. Fitzy was really fun. Some thoughts there about the wide receiving cores around the NFL as roster transactions continue to come down. Ted Wynn of The Athletic, kind enough to make some time for us on short notice, and just the general stupidity that you have come to associate with this particular time slot. You can get all 3 hours via the podcast. Just search the Buck Rising Show in your favorite podcast app. Last call for podcast. Last call for phone call. 615-737-1045 is the number. Eric is up next in Gallatin.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to come on here and rant a little bit because I'm pretty fed up with this generation. 45 minutes ago, we all know the sickening news of Taylor Swift getting engaged. Ugh, big whoop. And, 45 minutes ago, she posted that, and it's already got 6.2 million likes. But, my sweet, heroic Cameron Ward can post an aura-filled dump on his Instagram, and he only gets 186,000 likes. Are you kidding me? Where is this generation at? Get your head out of your butts. Come on. This is sad. Goodbye, guys.
You're upset because Cam Ward is not as famous as Taylor Swift?
It's an outrage. It's an outrage, Eric.
Is it?
Dixie on the F&M Bank chat says the most liked picture in Instagram history is Lionel Messi when he posted holding the World Cup trophy.
Oh, she's going to break
Argentina.
that. Does she not have a significantly bigger following than Messi?
Oh,
I'll look.
I bet he has more followers.
I think he is the most followed athlete in the world.
Mm-hmm. But his record is 75 million likes on a photo.
He has 506. That's crazy. 506 million Instagram followers. Taylor Swift. Let's see.
280.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's the power of sports. That's insane.
Well, that's the power of soccer.
Yes.
That's not applicable. Like Tom Brady's probably less than 10 million, one would imagine.
Yeah, and half of those just know him because of Giselle.
That's probably true. 15.3 for Tom Brady. So it would be, it would have to make the rounds. If Taylor Swift was getting married to Leo Messi, then we would shatter.
He would definitely cheat on her. He would definitely
He's married
cheat.
to his childhood sweetheart.
Oh, yeah, and you don't think when he's gallivanting around
They
Europe,
have been
all of these
together for decades.
in beer halls
plenty
and
of people that
hostels.
have been together for decades pre-social media that were, able to have extracurriculars without the internet finding out.
This is like you
Not
taking
to
up for
speculate.
Babe
Actually,
Ruth.
hit the reckless speculation. I don't want to do that to Leo Messi. Thank you.
He'll be here in 2 months.
This is like you taking up for Babe Ruth and being like, he wouldn't do that. He hit all those home runs. There's no way he's a drunk.
I do think Messi's a nice man.
I don't know how you could possibly know that.
I couldn't.
Who do you dislike? Give me somebody you like, because you're always
That's like
propping
Deshaun
everybody
Watson
up.
pre-pervert stuff, being like,
That's true. He was a nice guy, Deshaun
he's
Watson.
not wonderful human being,
Yeah.
praised at every turn. You don't know anything about these people.
Give me someone I dislike.
Yeah, who's somebody you don't like? Just say their name. Doesn't have to be a real person that we
no,
would know.
I feel like it has to be a real
Deshaun
person.
Watson.
That's a fair one.
Agreed.
Okay, but did you like him before?
Probably didn't have any strong opinion one way or another.
Mm.
Doing a lot of good work in the community was Deshaun Watson while he
Sure.
was getting NDAs from the Texans for his various massage therapists.
Shall we hear this Ben Jones audio?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, Ben.
Oh, yeah, don't set it up. Nobody needs to know what he's talking about. Hell with it.
And you got Cushenberry coming back, and you bring over more. So you finally get some stability there. And I feel like we have some depth. Like, it used to be like, oh, man, if anybody gets hurt, it's the end of the world. I think we kind of got some depth. And that's this thing. Like, you're looking at this over the next week. Like, they will bring in new guys. Like, no matter if it's you think you made the cuts today, tomorrow, like, that roster's not set until Thursday of game week. Like, they're going to look and keep looking because they're first on the waiver wire. This is the year the Titans can build some backups, some special teams, guys who can really help the roster. This is how you make your roster deeper, and this is a chance that we can get a lot better this year.
So that's Ben Jones talking about offensive line depth. We just mentioned Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, the UDFA out of Florida, that is at least on track to make the roster. We've still got time, I suppose, before those things are made official. Transactions don't have to be officially submitted to the league until, well, by the 3 p.m. deadline. So at 2:59:59, everything has to be in.
Oh, my God. The most seismic news in my sports fandom in my entire life has just been announced. East Carolina announced it will play at Alabama on September 5th, 2026. We get to be a cupcake game. We get to get beat up by Bama.
Is that the first time?
You get to get paid to get beat up
That's
by
what I'm
Bama.
saying. Usually it's Western Carolina. They're like, oh, no, we want the other purple school in your state. No, thank you with the Pirates. Yes. Tell them to bring me my money. I might go. Maybe not. Can you get tickets? Are Bama tickets hard to get?
Who are you asking?
You guys.
Us.
Yeah, didn't his fiance go to Alabama?
What does that mean?
Okay, I'm not asking you.
I mean,
cut
I
Bucks
have
mic
some
off.
buddies that still have season tickets if you want me to ask around.
I do.
Apparently Ben Jones can get you to a Georgia game. He's got 8 season tickets. He's
He
never been.
He never goes.
That's not bad.
Eric Taylor on YouTube is asking me to name every single person that I dislike.
God, we don't have much. We would have had to start at the beginning of the show.
And I still don't think I'd get through it. I think it's easier for me to name people that I like. But I won't. Polls.
Checking on the polls. We're checking on the polls now. Checking on the polls. We're checking on the polls now. What about them polls? We're checking on them, dadgum. What about them polls? We're checking on the polls now. You know we're updating the polls now. And not a soul now. Better say something about Buck's mom. Oh, we are updating the polls today. And nobody better say anything about Buck's mom. Yeah. Come on.
That was, oh my goodness.
You are just good enough to be a bad singer.
How are we supposed to do anything after that? I'm supposed to sit here and read poll results about Hendon Hooker and Will Levis after that performance?
That's pretty good.
I will not do that every day.
Oh,
well,
that
you
was
better
so
hope it's
good.
recorded because now you're going to be expected to do something different every day.
Yeah.
I want a different a cappella poll open every day.
No way.
That was, live.
No way.
Not pre-recorded. Amazing.
People that I like, me.
I'm mind blown. I'm blown away. Presented by Two Rivers Ford. What in sports made you say, oh no, this week? Karen says the Bucks waiving Desmond Watson.
No,
Doesn't make
that's
the
on
team.
him. He couldn't even practice. He was too fat during training camp. He couldn't practice.
Dude had 120 days to get in shape.
Yeah, come on.
And more than that, really. He had his whole life to get it oh no, I only had 3 months to get ready. Like, you've been this big, you've been he was the double for the boulder in Indiana Jones.
But they knew that, right?
Sure, but they were also expecting him to, have at least some progress in the right direction. He did not practice once.
Who was the worst draft pick? Will Levis or Hendon Hooker? 50.7% say
Hooker.
Levis.
Really? That close.
Levis just gets the edge.
Vols fans with a late surge.
One of the replies says Hendon was never picked to be the guy. He was a project they were looking to develop. Levis was a premium pick that they traded up to get.
No,
It's
he wasn't
Will
a
Levis,
premium
and it's
pick.
not close.
If he was a first-round pick, he would have been a premium pick.
Who will be a surprise inclusion in the Titans' 53-man roster? Nick says Andrew Rupsich.
Oh, we haven't heard
Haven't
this name
heard
called.
anything. Matt says James Prochet. It's more surprising that James Prochet is not included.
Would he be a surprise, though? I mean, he was the backup center to Levin. He's obviously played a good deal at guard
maybe
and
not.
center. So I think they're looking for reasons to keep him.
Which college football head coach are you more interested in this season, Belichick or Dion? 88% are going with Belichick. Dion, by the way, did just name Caden Salter the starting quarterback, the former Tennessee QB that got kicked out, went to Liberty, and now is the starter for Colorado post-Shador.
It was a weed situation for Caden Salter?
I believe so, yes, in the dorms at Tennessee.
Is weed legal in Germany?
I have no idea. Those are the polls.
Need to do some research. All right. That's going to do it for us this afternoon. Normally, we wouldn't do a primetime show on a Tuesday, but
tonight we will not either. Have a great night, everybody.
You are working tonight because I am working tonight, and we will react to the initial 53-man roster, 7 p.m.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford.
Identity. But
We
there's
work
good news.
for
There's
you.
real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments. Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty